It's a first grand final of this season and a first chance to lift that trophy.
Packed house all weekend long here at DreamHack, and of course the grand finals are no exception. For OpTic Gaming, it's a chance to erase the entire history of the tournament. That is all people will remember if OpTic Gaming can take these series. However, if FaZe takes it, it is historic. It changes the course of the season and their year, without a doubt. Only one of those stories will prevail at the end of this grand final.
Both teams coming into this grand finals with perfect results in their previous matches, but you're gonna have to be more than perfect. You're gonna have to be exceptional to lift the trophy here in Dallas. As we start off with our first game of the series, King of the Hill on recharge. And looking at the map records, like I said, Andy, this one FaZe will like the look of.
Trades to open things up here, and as we said, Suppressed, his first ever grand finals appearance, a household name in professional Halo, but now finds himself with an opportunity to take home a trophy. Let's see what he and the rest of FaZe Clan can do here in game number one.
First camo you saw was burned bottom middle, so no real impact for that. Suppressed, though, already having an impact here on the map. He's looking for a triple, but he's only going to find the double. 3 dead, though. For OpTic Gaming, Legend finds himself as last alive, but trying to control these spawns in and around the pipes where that first one's going to be.
Legend, that's what he does. Look at that in a 1v2 momentarily. Somehow sneaks away without even trading the kill. 2 dead here for FaZe.
It's a frustrating moment here for FaZe because as last alive, Legend gets the kill, doesn't get traded, then re-engages, contributes to a second kill, and now OpTic have control of this hill.
Kind of feels like we're just a continuation of his streak off of that first series of the day, doesn't it? Legend just being as tricky as you would expect, and they keep 3 in the death screen for FaZe. 50% of the progress here on the first hill. Renegade still alive here, also being a nuisance, bottom blue.
Yeah, Renegade just on the flank of the spawners at the moment. Almost got a shock rifle as well, and he's putting that to use. Penguin could not get anywhere near the hill before his head was removed. It's 2v2 at the moment, but last 2 players from FaZe are a long way away from that hill, and OpTic are far closer to it. They will get that first hill on the board. They're up by 1.
Not wasting any time, and Formal also not wasting any time. Looks for a second head eventually. Will be forced to retreat, but has a lot of covering fire and teammates pushing up as well to help out the cause. It's 3 dead for FaZe yet again.
Yeah, OpTic looking like they haven't missed a beat here. Those kills falling at just the right time, not just to win the rotation towards this next hill, but also that camo is coming up bottom middle. Renegade has it in his possession. The first power-up is going to be influential on this game. The second camo will be picked up here by OpTic.
Notice Renegade playing front of hill so he can make plays like this.
Just got a double, by the way.
Look at this. Oh my, 3 dead right away. Suppresses the last player alive at tower, and he's forced to go all the way back to elevator. This will be continued time. Love the way the Renegade plays the front of that hill and dips out right away when the pressure comes.
Yeah, looking to close in on 2 Suppressed as well. Bounty's going to get that kill, and now all of FaZe are trapped on the long ball. Renegade has free reign to move in and pick up the most simple double that a player of his ability can ask for.
They've already crossed the 20 kill mark here, just outslaying heavily and only moments away from getting the second hill as well. This has been clinical from OpTic Gaming.
This has been dominant from OpTic Gaming. FaZe really haven't had an opportunity to step inside of that hill. It's another simple double kill for Renegade, and off the back of the kills, it's a second hill for OpTic. They're already up by 2.
Unreal start. That's some of the 2 fastest kills we've ever seen in a grand finals, without a doubt. 4 were dead for OpTic though, so now an opportunity perhaps for FaZe to get back in the game.
Now we have to see FaZe exercise an element of control that we've yet to see. Shots like that from Suppressed will certainly help them in this situation, and also collecting a shock rifle will help them in these fights. Bounty's last alive, so FaZe have done a great job here as he's taken down as well to get control of this hill and starts to put OpTic on the back foot.
Back-to-back 4 deads there, and you talk about a player's first appearance in the grand finals. How about Suppressed, already 8-4 in this game here?
Trippy not quite connecting with those shots onto his former teammate, of course, in Formal, and that's going to allow OpTic to at least break into the pipes. Penguin, though, he's going to get a double. Penguin opening the map up as Valkade will come in, and OpTic Gaming find themselves 4 dead. So even though there was a bit of a shock in the arena to the way that FaZe was slowly getting into this game, now they've woken up a little bit, and this should be their hill.
Yeah, really impressive there. Another 3 back-to-back 4 deads, and FaZe answers back with a very impressive sequence of their own.
2 dead now for FaZe, though. You can see the Formal in the feed is going to make Trippy have to survive on his own for just a few seconds here. Tries to challenge for this camo, but not going to be able to. OpTic Gaming will get their 3rd pickup of the camo, and the 2nd time they can put it to use here.
Oh, look at this as well. A little bit of a tricky scenario there with teammates. And has to try to stay alive with the camo. This will be important. And Manages to just navigate and tiptoe in between the raindrops to stay alive. Pressure coming in here from Suppressed. He manages to stay alive yet again.
Yeah, I like that aggression though from Suppressed. I like the fact that he's trying to take the fight to OpTic Gaming here on this hill, not make it comfortable, keep them on their toes. As Formal still alive with this camo here.
3 nades and quick drop, 3 dead. Last guy's Trippy. You can bet he's going to make sure this one gets erased. He's got help as well.
Help's going to come. But Formal still recognizing the most important thing here is hill time. Let your teammate play off with your damage. He can have the kill. You'll take the time. Falcane's last alive. And OpTic might be about to go 3-1 up here.
They have the timing on the rotates. Beautifully done there, trading out those kills in long haul. And they knew that Legend had to fly in, and if he did, Formal would have to get the next kill on the domino effect. But it's perfectly executed here.
I mean, we've seen some pretty slow games that have finished 1-0, 2-1, whatever it might be, but we've still got 3 minutes of the game clock here to play with, as OpTic will step in and be able to secure this third hill. They're up 3-1, and so much time left still to play on this hill as we move towards bottom mid.
Certainly a moment there where OpTic probably could have even baited time if they had wanted to, but you could tell they're playing no-nonsense Halo right now. They said, let's just get the last few seconds. Don't even worry about baiting here, even though we have 2 dead. Let's just keep going here, because they are absolutely rolling and patrolling at 3-1.
Trippy trying to challenge Bound here. Bound is giving him problems, but Trippy as last alive will at least get 1 kill. But inside of that hill again is OpTic Gaming. Standing there, collecting time, forcing the game in their favor. Trippy will get the beat down, puts the Shroud down just to survive a little bit longer. He knows there's some pressure coming through the Shroud, and Falcane's going to be there to help his teammate out. It's 2 dead here for OpTic, numbers heavily in the favor of FaZe.
Good timing, last player alive is gold. This should be an easy FaZe camo. Trippy will pop, and now, with 2:21 left, as you had mentioned, Mark, still a lot of game clock to play with.
Enemy team took the kill.
Trippy gets hit by that grenade though. Legend took out Penguin. Almost gave the position of Trippy away. As OpTic will manage to get 2 kills on the board and force FaZe onto the back foot. Trippy trying to stay alive with this camo and influence this game, but a lot of pressure being put onto him at the moment.
Yeah, this Legend's also just being an absolute pain. He's going to go bottom blue, just continuing to poke around and look for that camo. And by the time they do all this, camo's already out. It's a really nice camo management and camo counter from OpTic Gaming. Take a look, 2 players bottom middle. They keep a player at battery's angle to shut down the camo option. And it's a really nice neutralization there of the power-up.
And how frustrating it is to play against OpTic. You're seeing it from the point of view of Trippy there. You know, he broke about 3 or 4 shields, but none of the kills get picked up. He's doing everything he can to put OpTic under pressure in those gunfights, but just the help, the baiting and switching from OpTic too strong in those situations. And now they're 60% of the way to closing it out game number 1.
You get the feeling that OpTic only has 1 speed on this championship Sunday. The speed at which we went through the matches earlier today were unbelievable, both of their series. And now they're bringing that right into the grand finals as well.
16 and 11 for Renegade, 15 and 9 for Formal. The man on your screen gets the beat down, doesn't connect with a shock this time around. FaZe have some numbers. Now, let's think about this for a second here. Still plenty of time left on the game clock, like we mentioned, and 3-2 feels like a very different game here if FaZe can close out this bottom middle hill. They have taken a lead, but they still have to secure and win this next gunfight if they want to make this 3-2.
Big moment indeed. A lot of game clock, as we said. All going to come down to this second hill. 2 dead for FaZe, though. Not going to be easy here.
Falcane's going to be left on his own as well. Falcane wins a big fight, but Legend is there to trade it out. Trippy goes in for the trade. 4 dead, though, on the side of FaZe, and OpTic will step back into this hill.
Oh, they're flying, and they're going right to Trippy's spot. This is a risky push. They're all ending this push here.
It's really risky. They have to try and force it. They can't let OpTic take this last bit of time. They have to keep contesting this bottom middle hill, as we have a 2v2 on the map right now.
This is a big 1v2 now. Trippy was the only player alive for just a second.
Help comes in from the respawner though. Trippy gets his kill onto Formal. Suppress now off the respawn. Is able to pressurize Renegade in this tower, and FaZe are inside that hill once more.
Here they come. Suppress so well off of gold here. Only a few more ticks before they get the second hill.
Formal finds 1. Flank now comes in from Renegade. He gets the call out. That's 2 players weak. It's 3 dead here for FaZe. Trippy last alive has to make a hero play onto this hill. Not going to be able to. OpTic will step in, and OpTic will be up by 1.
And FaZe doing everything they can with repeated gold spawns to try to fly at the bottom middle hill, but as you can see, easier said than done. Being forced time and time again to keep their teammate alive, and they're able to do it over the course of 2 spawn cycles, but they were no match for OpTic's early game. Those opening 3 hills were dominant.
Very, very impressive start from OpTic, continuing the momentum that we just saw from their win against TSM in that elimination bracket final. Now they have to keep this momentum going. FaZe started to work their way back into that game. It could have been a very different final minute or two had they secured what was a hotly contested bottom middle hill. But OpTic, as we've seen so many times in this tournament, the big moments are the ones that they've come out on top of.
Formal 22-11 with just shy of 5,500 damage to lead the lobby in just about every category. That's the Championship Sunday formal you tend to get. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, starting off with the man himself.
Yeah, I mean, the first hill was brilliant. Again, a great life from Legend as last alive was what propelled OpTic to be able to get a lot of control on the map and secure that first hill. Renegade, again, a great game from him. Wes was saying before the series got underway, if you want one player to be popping off on your team, if you're OpTic Gaming, you're probably looking at Renegade to be that guy. And in game one, certainly didn't disappoint.
He did not at all. At that point in the game, he was 14-9. Here, he's already gotten to 16 kill mark as well. So right up there with Formal throughout the majority of the game. And as we said, even though we saw FaZe with several camos and several opportunities to take control of the game, OpTic did so well to trade out every single kill. That's another example of doing exactly what they needed to on the map.
These final moments here, you can see that the spawns were staggered on both sides, so everyone was kind of scrapping and trying to push towards this hill, but just a little bit of patience here from Renegade. Takes it off angle, gets the nice simple double kill to force FaZe out of that hill. The rest of OpTic spawn close enough to just get inside of it. Get those last few scrap seconds and make sure that that victory is secured. 4-1, the win here for OpTic on game number one. And just to remind you, this was a game type that FaZe would have favored going into this series. King of the Hill they've been pretty good at, but one thing they've been extremely good at is Slayer, which we find ourselves going towards now in game number two.
Take a look at some of the matches so far. The grand final record between these map sets, of course, everything prior to this grand final. Slayer Solitude, as we had mentioned earlier, heavily in favor of FaZe Clan at 3-0. OpTic Gaming 4-3, so they've seen their fair share of losses on this map. FaZe right now coming in undefeated on this exact map game type. It's an opportunity for them to tie up the series.
Yeah, FaZe are going to have to show something in the objectives, but if they're going to get the chance to do so, they need to secure these Slayers. 50 kills to win here. We know the camo is going to be a big influence on how these kills start to fall, as well as that shock rifle, which everybody is going to want to get their hands on. Now, if FaZe do get it in their hands, Andy, I want to see them use it. Put it to use. Don't try and keep it out of the hands of OpTic. Try and take some heads.
We've seen OpTic find some success this weekend, despite the 4-3 record overall, find some success in this exact map game type. And especially on this map as well. We saw them earlier putting together amazing pieces for some serious wins. It's Formal with an opening camo, 2 dead each side.
Penguin up on S3. Formal knows that he doesn't want to give away his position by firing his gun, so it takes a few extra moments, just takes a beat. Let's wait for the help from Bound to arrive. But Penguin spied him out here. Trippy! Whoa. Will get taken down in that fight, but does take Formal down with him. Or FaZe certainly do with a combination of players. And Suppressed with that repulse wins a big individual fight. Bound will go down as well, even though he had the shot. As Trippy secures the double kill, it's FaZe with a no lead as Trippy goes down, but Foul's got that shock rifle now.
That really has been the theme so often this season. Before you can even get the sentence out that the team has taken the lead, it's often tied right back up. How about that camo deny from FaZe? Penguin equalized it from S4 really nicely to keep this game now all knotted up.
Look how aggressively FaZe were pushing, by the way, onto those respawners from OpTic. It's 2 dead on the side of OpTic. It's a 10-9 lead here for FaZe. And I think that's an encouraging sign for FaZe. We've been a little bit critical sometimes about how sometimes they can play a bit slow or slow to recognize when they have advantages on the map, but that showed that when they do feel like they have those, they're not going to be afraid to push it.
Everything going to slow down for just a second before this KO. You thought. Suppressed hits a beautiful shot to top mid. Eventually will be taken down 3 falls, so Falcon is your only player alive. At a tricky piece of timing as he will fall with camo coming up top mid here in 10 seconds. About one more battle before that camo can be grabbed.
Trippy already weak down on the dip, but Trippy with perfect shots onto Renegade will remind him that you've got to be perfect in your own shots to win some of these fights. Falcate comes through and wins a big fight himself. Legend does not put that shock rifle to use. With the pace of this game, Andy.
I'm telling you, OpTic's got one speed today, and it is fly at your opponent as fast as possible, and so far it's also been as efficient as possible, because despite the speed, they've also played nearly perfect. They go up by 1 here with a camo grab as well.
Another camo goes here to OpTic, which means bullets can be fired, and FaZe find themselves 3 dead. It's a 4-kill advantage with Camo still in the hands of the Frenchman. Sabri now jumps up to top middle. Does his best UAV impressions. He looks all the way around the map here to try and spot out the members of FaZe Clan.
1 down, they need to play this carefully. Shot coming up at 10 as well. Let's get Dualistan here in the comms and OpTic Gaming.
No, one dealer. That's one good. Toggle, one shot. So, that's one top dash.
Top snipe.
Shock is coming, guys.
Top snipe.
We just pick dash on.
There's 2 at snipe.
Watch out.
The hotel scan.
Yeah, this one here behind me, bro.
Watch out benches, guys.
I heard benches on me.
Yeah, I'm going back to John.
Okay, hello. Going try.
Very weak for driveway.
Top one.
I go on top one. He can be. You're weak, man. Up one. You're let's go, man. Let's go.
You're gonna have shock.
Step.
Nice, man.
Could be drop right. Remember. Is there one shot? Just left.
One shot special.
2 deck. Guys, let's do this.
No one's pushers. I think that's Shock. I think Shock's pushers.
Spend deep.
It could be
Ready.
Go nest, There's one shotgun left, break. And jump right. I died. Jump right. Dude, pretty solo. He's going solo Mike. I think he's U-turn.
Watch fighter.
Death came in U-turn, nothing
One's in
U-turn.
blue.
Nothing U-turn. What's gonna be like snake bite?
Ammo in 15, guys.
I can lift enemy. Yeah, toggle. He might push my blue.
Yo, push suppress weak.
Push break one, the garbage.
One's on snake bite too. Watch out, push suppress absolute. And snake bite weak. Yo,
Snake bite,
one shot.
Push.
2 deck, guys. Camo.
Fires on me.
Stay alive, still.
One shot, trade. Just keep moving.
Glass also weak.
Can't go for this yet. They're baiting
I can't wait, trippy. One shot, on the awning. And push to the weak, man. It's a great flank down.
Watch out,
Inside the stairs.
You turn them side, one shot.
Ready, alone set it. Mark it. No one's marking.
Okay, man.
Jump, watch out.
It's okay.
Two players.
Wow, the listening FaZe into a lead though, and Penguin picking up the camo here for FaZe. The first time we've seen it in their control for quite some time.
Wow, Bound last player alive. It's a huge play for Bound. 3 were dead for OpTic. And he lifts on the camo player to take the 1v1, and then the help eventually comes from the loop glass and poster spawners to keep this game within 1.
Tie game, 34 apiece. Legend with the kill onto Falcated. Renegade will make sure this game stays tied up as well. Penguin will get that kill though, and as we enter the back end of this game, FaZe have an advantage, but it is just 1 kill. This game can change very, very quickly, especially with Legends flying into the hotel to finish off that damage.
Renegade yet again, by the way, 11-8 in this game as well, in a game that they're tied up. Who continues to perform? There's been questions asked of how long can he do this? He's keeping it up still.
Suppress being aggressive on the damage bottom middle, gets that kill. Again, a 1 kill advantage here for FaZe. Looks for the kill onto Legend, a difficult angle to take that fight from a Legend. Will win it to tie the game back up again. Big 1v1 inside of Yard is going to be won this time by Trippy. Penguin and Formal now in their own 1v1, and Penguin will win that one, and the double kill will keep FaZe in the most slender lead possible.
This is going to get so dicey with these trades. Teams are going to maybe even slow things down just a bit, because this is really getting to the danger zone in terms of the final stretch of the game. FaZe still up now by 2.
I would say the pace of this game has been electric on both sides as Penguin gets another kill. Help coming in from Trippy at just the right time. Formal desperately trying to scarper in, but it's a 2v2 split. I think Formal recognized brilliantly there. He didn't have the time to push in on that as the spawners were coming in. Also, knowing the camo's coming up means now it will be 3 dead for FaZe. Formal alive as everybody else from OpTic picks up the kills, and OpTic are now in the lead by 2.
How well was that handled by OpTic Gaming in the 2v2? Formal also dodges all of the grenades around Pillar, stays alive, does not shoot Trippy to make sure he maintains camo, and now they're up here 47 to 48 to 43.
3 dead here for FaZe. This could be the home stretch for OpTic Gaming. Formal with the beat down. The trade comes in from Renegade to put them 1 away from closing out game number 2.
Unreal. How good have they been in the Slayer late game? Time and time again, they pull away from a tied game in the mid-40s. 1 kill to go.
They got FaZe trapped here. Suppress gets 1, but Formal trades it out with a sticky grenade. And it will be OpTic Gaming who pick up the win here in the Slayer and are already up by 2 in this series.
I saw a movie awfully similar to this one not too long ago.
Not too far from here either.
It's true, about 19 miles from this exact arena, and only about 5 weeks ago, if that. OpTic Gaming takes the first 2 games yet again of Grand Final number 1. as a formal chant erupts in the building, and for good reason. OpTic Gaming take it 50-45. And Mark, how good have OpTic Gaming been in the Slayer late game? It feels like every game that we've seen in these game 2s, these game 5s, take a look at the damage as well, has gone to essentially a tie game at 40 across the entire arena. OpTic Gaming part of so many of those, and they just have unbelievable ice in the late game to close it out.
Yeah, and remember, this is FaZe, who have been #1 ranked in Slayers so far this tournament, so they certainly have not been any slouches when it comes to this particular game type. There's a lot of moments in it from OpTic as well where you felt like a few kills got away from them. Big individual fights being won with no shielded players, like this one from Penguin. Yeah. But I'd love to talk about the decision from Formal. Right at the end here, it's a 2v2, he gets damage onto a player, but the call obviously comes that camo is up. We have mid-map control. If he pushes in and tries to kill that player that he's done damage to,
pushing pillar, yeah.
He's probably pushing into spawners, he gives away a death, and he risks giving up mid-map control as well. So just having that big picture in your head, so important for those close game situations. I think Formal really needs to be credited with the decisions that were made in that play.
If you're just joining us here in the arena or online, first of all, welcome to another grand final that's shaping up to be quite a series. OpTic Gaming has once again taken games 1 and 2 just like they did in Arlington to try to reset the bracket. And they've looked dominant in doing so. However, it's worth noting, we haven't talked about it yet because games 1 and 2 were rightfully such a focus. Games 3 and 4 are both new game types that OpTic themselves would tell you are not their strongest game types. It's Neutral Bomb Aquarius and CTF Origin. So despite the fact that FaZe Clan has now dealt their first loss of the season on Slayer Solitude, they have a chance to mentally reset and lock in for 2 of the newer game types of the series.
And just a reminder as well, it's an extended series here, a best of 7, but in the grand finals, because FaZe have come from that winner's bracket, OpTic Gaming not only have to win this series in front of us, but have to win a second best of 7 should they reset the bracket. FaZe only need to win one of these series to be crowned champion. So FaZe have to keep that in mind here, because OpTic, the pace they're playing at and the ruthlessness that they're showing right now, FaZe need to make this series feel a bit longer, make this series go the distance, knowing that if they put OpTic under pressure, OpTic can't afford to make mistakes in these series.
Take a look here. OpTic Gaming, even though they would tell you themselves, and you might have heard on the OpTic podcast, that they are not a good bomb team. I tell you what, the grand finals at Arlington, as well as this graphic, tell me that they're actually quite good at a lot of the new game types, despite the fact that they keep saying they're not too strong on them. 2-0 over Gen G on Fortress, we saw that one. A 1-0 win over Shopify and TSM, and also another 2-0 over Envy. 3 of those are on Aquarius, and guess what? We're headed there next in this exact game type. So you're hoping that FaZe instead goes for previous records and hasn't seen that graphic, because that could be a heartbreaking one. But I tell you what, one thing that's so interesting about this OpTic Gaming roster is whenever we have gone to a grand finals where there's a reset potential, you have to think about the fatigue of a team. I'll come back to that though, because I do want to look at the game types that are coming up in the series.
Yeah, and I mean, it falls into, it's one thing to hear from OpTic that they don't think they're great on the new game types.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just speaking to how good they think they are at the other game types, because that record right there, 4-1, is pretty impressive when it comes to Aquarius, Neutral Bomb. And you look at the FaZe side, it's 2-2. So OpTic have a chance here to go up 3 in the series. That record for FaZe, probably one of the weaker ones they have across the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think looking at a 4-1 record and a 2-1 record to 2 even records on both of the next 2 game types, which could be the series deciding game types for OpTic Gaming. Certainly even more reasons for the Green Wall to be excited about what is to come here. Just to finish that earlier thought, with some teams, when you look at a grand final and reset potential, you have to ask yourselves, and we do of course of casters, what is the stamina and what is the endurance of these players, right? Because when you think about how difficult it is to do back-to-back best of 7 series and win them both, throughout history, there have been players that have kind of longer endurance, a lot of veteran experience, etc. With OpTic Gaming, you never wonder. You're thinking they are so locked in and ready to play 14 games if they need to, without a doubt. And it shows once again, it's a very, very strong opening from OpTic Gaming.
It certainly is. I mean, this is why they win championships, right? And just something to highlight as well. We're talking about how OpTic are looking to go back-to-back as an organization here with the wins. Well, for Bound and Legend, this would be 5 events in a row that they would win, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
The 5-beat. How many players in Halo history have managed to pull that off?
Very few. I think you're looking at, I know it was discussed also on with Maniac and APG, and Lethal as well. You're looking at you know, an Ogre roster, certainly some type of STK 3D FB roster, I'm sure has done 5 in a row. I'll just leave it at that, though. It's probably the Ogres and friends, plus maybe 1 or 2 players here or there. It is a very rare achievement.
Certainly a very select group of players. And I'm sure for the Halo Championship Series as well, and a lot of the North American players probably thinking, where did Legend spawn from? Because, you know, a lot of, historically, the European teams haven't been able to go on to win championships, haven't been able to get towards the grand finals. Legend spawns in. And I've talked about his story a lot. He gets the opportunity to join Space Station, wins a World Championship, wins multiple events, season MVP. Now he's going into a bracket of a player who could win 5 events in a row. It's an incredible rise. Unbelievable.
Some people play through the high ping. He was raised by the high ping.
Molded by it.
This man did the equivalent of playing with a batting weight on for his entire career and realized, hey, I might be pretty good at this game. And of course, got so good essentially that the world could not ignore him. And now he finds himself not only on a World Championship roster, but now, as you say, a potential to win 5 events straight now under the OpTic Gaming banner. And it would, of course, be a back-to-back for OpTic if they can do it here, but there's a whole lot more Halo yet to play if we want to have that conversation. We're 2-0 in favor of OpTic Gaming over FaZe Clan. Neutral Bomb Aquarius, an opportunity for FaZe to get back into this series.
One thing that FaZe aren't afraid to do here in Aquarius as well is grind out these results. We've seen them win Aqua Flags in LAN tournaments 1-0. We've seen them grind out 1-0 bomb victories. But Neutral Bomb has been a pretty happy hunting ground for these 2 players in particular. Bound and Foreman on your screen. Both of them over a 1.3 KD and over 2 kills per minute, first and second in the stats.
Not too bad. If you want to have 2 players ready to lock into a bomb game, how about the 2 top ranked overall and kills in the game type across all maps here at Dallas? And Bound starting things off with a little bit of a world star.
Certainly is, and who's the man who helps him stay alive in that situation? Number 1, Formal. With some shots across map, and Formal's just perfected another player, so early pressure for FaZe here being felt. All of them trapped in the back of their base, and that bomb is being thrown towards their courtyard.
Have you ever seen a team on a Championship Sunday play every single game type this fast, the way that they are? I mean, look at the unbelievable perfect opening, and they already have a spawn trap, essentially 30 seconds in.
Biding their time. FaZe can't move. FaZe can't leave. FaZe are getting hunted down. That's 3 dead. Faust dead as well. 4 dead. The perfect opening here for OpTic Gaming. This could be a picture-perfect playbook opening. They have planted the bomb within the first 2 plays of the game. That is unbelievable from OpTic.
They outslay 8-2 and get an immediate arm within the first 50 seconds of a Neutral Bomb game. Now you start to understand why we just saw that stat card on the screen and what this team is capable of here.
I'm in shock at what I've just seen. It's 3 dead again here. And it might be 4 dead. Trippy's no shields in the courtyard. He'll go down as well. FaZe can't spawn at the moment, let alone think about getting that bomb. It's another one here for Formal, surely, but Suppressed at least gets 1 kill. Formal had a little bit of a smile on his face there, having lost that one.
Yeah, Suppressed maybe buys a tiny bit of time here for FaZe, but as we said, you really cannot overstate just how insane this opening and the series and the day has been for OpTic Gaming. I think we're all wondering if FaZe is going to get back into the series at any point, but it is not looking like this game type will be the one just yet.
I wonder if FaZe can get out of their base at the moment, let alone back into the series. I don't think we've seen anyone from FaZe on the OpTic side of the map, let alone the bomb. Another kill gets picked up here for OpTic. It's going to be 3v3 momentarily, but Renegade with yet another. The bomb still progressing towards the FaZe base. FaZe are in the blender of all blenders at the moment. And finally, Trippy with an individual win might give them a route out.
The biggest win, certainly not easy to win those peak shot battles against Bound when he has that peak advantage, but still after all of that carnage, it's going to be Renegade coming away with the camo, and things will slow down for just a second.
Well, finally, FaZe will get across halfway on the map. They want to know what the other side of the map does look like, and they're finally starting to find that out. But with the camo in the hands of Renegade here, and him spying out and pinging frantically where he's spying FaZe members, OpTic might be looking to collapse onto this, and they're already moving the bomb and progressing the bomb back onto the FaZe side of the map.
Look at this. Ready, as you said, Renegade slow playing it for just a second, but decides to shoot. Stays alive in the connector for as long as he can. Now it's 4 dead, 2 alive for FaZe, so we'll see if they can start to advance the bomb here.
Really important here for FaZe that FaZe make something of this situation, right? They have been absolutely pummeled for the first couple of minutes in this game, but the score is just 1-0. Now that they get that 4 dead, they can do to OpTic what OpTic did to them. One kill gets picked up early here by Suppressed, but the flank coming in from Formal gives them 2 kills.
Formal either went connector or car 1 to get behind him there. It's a really nice push in the end to help them get out of their base. Really nicely done as the team was otherwise trapped.
Look at this as well, just controlling the objective, controlling the bomb, forcing FaZe to turn around. Stop thinking about spawn killing and worry about what Formal's doing with that bomb.
And OpTic up to their usual tricks. Bomb gonna sit car 1, they're very happy with that one. Now with the 1 bomb cushion, they'll go back to slaying.
One was so sneaky. Trippy's completely lost him, and Trippy is gonna pay for it as well. 2 dead here on the side of FaZe. Suppressed is trying to overextend towards top middle, but that camo coming up as well with numbers on the map and the bomb. Back close to this FaZe base. You got to start to worry and feel that FaZe might be in a little bit of trouble here. 2 dead, camo coming up, bomb almost in the base. OpTic are looking for blood here.
Getting flashbacks at Colossus matchmaking on Halo 2 launch week with the amount of noob combo I'm seeing from Formal here. Just absolutely green gunning anybody that walks in the base.
Swing and a miss, but connects with the Bandit. Formal gets another one as well. It's 3 dead, Penguin last alive. Bomb is on the spot. Penguin has to go huge. And Penguin does do exactly that. He keeps FaZe down by just 1 as the dominoes started to fall towards OpTic. Maybe looking for that second arm.
Bomb gets spotted out again. Eagle Eyes coming in from FaZe repeatedly with the camo. It hasn't made the difference on the overall scoreboard, but time and time again, they seem to be shutting down the camo pretty well. Maybe a moment to breathe here for just a second. As quickly as we say that, though, it's 2 dead for each side, so FaZe will have to off this respawn now as they do get their 3rd kill. Traded out, though, for a momentary 1v1, but to try to commentate this action requires keeping up with every single play. Finally, the last 8 kills traded out, essentially, and maybe a moment for FaZe to breathe and reset. Let's not forget, they are still only down here 1-0, and despite the fact that OpTic Gaming has 2 players on 12 and now Renegade at 13 kills, it is still just a 1-bomb game.
Okay, shots from Formal, by the way, Suppressed. Take it down. Formal comes out of that first battle and re-engages in a second one to get that double kill. FaZe 2 dead once again. But I think it's really important just to highlight here, even though OpTic have been dominant, even though you feel like FaZe have lost 90% of this game so far, it's still the 1 bomb difference between the 2 teams, but that might be about to change as Suppressed is last alive and OpTic are arming that bomb once again.
1 player wrapping right now. Suppressed is the only hope if they're going to get this stop. We'll see if he can. No, he's taken down. That bomb will go as well. And OpTic Gaming needs no invitation. 3 dead for FaZe. Several will fall on OpTic, however, it's really just all kills being traded out. OpTic, very impressive. Let's not forget, there's been times where we've seen them overslay in bomb games pretty often coming up to this event. It seems like now, as soon as every piece of the puzzle is in place, they make sure the bomb is there too.
Yeah, they're bringing that bomb with them every time that they get a couple of kills. They're progressing it up the map. They are putting pressure on FaZe to not just call out where OpTic members are playing on the map, but where that bomb is progressing as well. Legend just looking to make sure there's no overextenders here from FaZe. So now he wraps back towards top pink. Trippy finds 1 kill though. Penguin going to be double teamed on the bottom of the pink tower as Renegade gets yet another camo here for OpTic Gaming.
And as things now go to 2-0 here, we can look at Formal stat line at 19, 10, and 6.
Bomb reset.
Leading the entire game in kills. 1 shy of the assist leader. Suppressed has 11 on the other side. And only 6 deaths in the game, leading in that category as well. When you talk about a man showing up on Championship Sunday, it's Formal. 3 dead yet again for FaZe.
Renegade taking on Falcade. Falcade wins the fight, but immediately Bound is there to trade that one out. Gotta keep an eye on where this bomb is at the moment. Sure, it's still down bottom middle, but it might start progressing towards the FaZe base once again here as Bound on our screens picks up a couple of kills, gets a beat down as well, and now FaZe find themselves 3 dead, and yes, indeed, look how quick and efficient OpTic Gaming are. Immediately after the kills are picked up, the bomb's already being armed here.
Might have to drop and shoot here. Formal knows it, but a lot of players coming in through the pink door. Very weak. He picks up a double. More pressure still coming in from the pink side, however. This might be a FaZe clearing out here, 2v2 on the map.
Yeah, nobody just close enough to Formal there to help him out after picking up that double to block off the final 2 players who were trying to rotate in to clear that bomb out from FaZe. So, unfortunately for OpTic, 1 player maybe just fell at the wrong time to leave Formal a little bit isolated, but again, even in that situation, Formal coming out of that situation with a double kill with 2 dead, you'll take it all day.
Love that play from Bound, even though he could have gotten camo 1 second later. Instead, he drops to help out with kills on both sides of the shroom stairs. It's 2 dead yet again. Val might not be long for this world. It's a staggered 4 dead. He picks up the last kill as well.
Bomb taken.
Bound starting to introduce himself to this game as well. Was another camo goes to OpTic. FaZe have got to sort this out. They have lost pretty much every single power-up so far in this game, which is making it very, very difficult to get kills on the board, let alone get that bomb anywhere near the OpTic base.
The Legend plays this so wisely. Make sure he's not in the sideline whatsoever. The patience to make sure he doesn't accidentally drop down. Picks up a double as well. And now with just 3:39 left, you feel like it's just a few extra moments here for OpTic Gaming to just continue slaying 3 dead yet again.
How many times have we said that? 3-4 dead for FaZe. Too many if you're a FaZe fan. It's the only real answer you can give to that. Formal with another kill, 22-9. Formal on this game at the moment. Penguin will add another kill. Or should I say death to the tally here for Formal as Trippy will find 2. OpTic Gaming find themselves 3 dead.
Remarkable Formal now with that last string of plays, leading in every single category and has a bomb arm to his name. You cannot say enough about what that man is doing here in this grand final, specifically in this game.
Chance here for FaZe though. They've got that bomb towards the base. They've got 3 dead as well. Falcated, even though FaZe have been pummeled for the majority of this game, are going to get an arm on the board here, and it's 2-1 with time still left in this game. There is life, there is a chance, there is something for FaZe to hold on to.
And you wonder, with the stat lines on the screen, every single member of FaZe negative here, and the numbers that we just discussed at length on OpTic Gaming, how on earth is this a 2-1 game? And with 2:40 left, there's still a little bit of game time to play with.
FaZe showing that if they get the opportunity to get the bomb in the base, if they get the opportunity off the 4 dead, they know how to get the job done. And finally, Penguin will grab a power-up for them as well. It's 2 dead on the side of OpTic. And Penguin takes the 1v1 and wins it against Legend.
2 dead here on a minor man advantage. FaZe know they need to start moving this bomb, and that's exactly what they do.
Bomb taken.
Penguin doesn't really want to be the player with this bomb in his hands with the camo. He wants to be the one influencing the fights. He's the one who wants to take the individual where he has that first shot advantage. All of OpTic trapped in the back of the base. 2 minutes left in this game. The camo disappears.
They're going to have heard that as well from shroom stairs. The push has to come now.
The threat sensor goes in here. That's going to give away all the positions of OpTic Gaming, who are just waiting and hoping their grenades will connect. But it looks like damage advantage is FaZe's again.
Only 1 kill though. Still a lot of work to do on the arm.
Renegade gets 1 though. That's going to slow down the push here from FaZe, but Falcated will clean up another. Legend, inside of the gen, will get the trade, and that trade is massive for OpTic Gaming. They can now get that bomb away.
And that cost a lot of time there. FaZe put a lot of energy, a lot of eggs into that basket. You have to wonder about the play call. Trippy hoping the damage might come in, but all of his camo dissipates holding the bomb top util.
I think the frustration there, and you can understand why FaZe had to play that the way that they did. OpTic coming off spawn for them like they're going to have nades. They're going to have 2 nades each, which they can bank into anyone who tries to push from FaZe. And FaZe, having just come into that situation, winning fights probably don't have the same amount of utility to use. And they have to try and wait those nades out from OpTic. And eventually we're forced to make the play. OpTic defend, and FaZe still chase the game.
And you're right, and those pre-nades paid off. They've delayed a lot of time here. 47 seconds left on the clock. 3 will fall, however, from OpTic Gaming Legend. Last player alive bottom middle, and he will be taken down.
Okay.
41 seconds left. Here comes the FaZe push. It has to happen now.
Oh, that is a huge grenade coming in from Bound though, because that's on the bomb carrier. That slows the bomb progress down. 2 dead aside. 27 seconds left on this game clock for FaZe to pull off a miracle.
Falcated was hoping it'd be a free camo, but now him and Suppress are both in trouble. One of them should be able to get this camo, but they have to fly right now. 15
seconds left. 2v2 on the map. Penguin throws that one out into the courtyard, somehow stays alive. Trippy's there as well, but Renegade, he'll find 1. He looks for 2. Renegade gets 2, shuts the game down, and puts OpTic Gaming 3 up in the series.
What a game from OpTic Gaming. And I cannot wait to pull these stats back up, because if I'm not mistaken, Formal not only had the amount of kills that he had, I believe he was 1 assist away from having more assists than anyone on FaZe having kills. which is something I don't think I've ever said in a Halo tournament, let alone a grand final. Let me double check that. Formal goes 28-17 with 20 assists. Yes, one shy of suppressed 21 kills, and I cannot remember the last time I've seen something like this in a grand final.
A KDA of 17.7 for Formal.
Do you see how on the right side of your screen, some of those numbers are not like the others?
Yes. 2-1 the final score. FaZe do get that bomb planted and had OpTic under pressure and an opportunity maybe to tie that game up, but the first 60% of the game, this is what we were seeing. It was just FaZe completely getting mauled in the back of their base.
And they barely got out a few times. It felt like they suppressed, for example, pushing out and winning battles that he shouldn't have won. That was the only way they got out, was winning 1v1s where they managed to kind of win from a disadvantageous situation. And I tell you what, an interesting game for a number of reasons, but most importantly, for the sake of the series, it's another OpTic Gaming win, but things got close.
Even Formal knew that OpTic were playing well, by the way, because usually if Formal loses that fight, he is furious.
Right, but I think he already had so much to be happy about before that.
Having just blended FaZe for the first 2 minutes of the game, he's like, okay, you can have one. But I just want to take a second and give you the opportunity to break down just how brilliant the opening was for OpTic Gaming. They get 3-4 dead, and then they set up perfectly with the full coverage of the map to spawn kill FaZe.
It really was. Also, plays like this, we got to take a moment. Look at how Sabri plays that so well, because especially anyone who's played a lot of, Halo long enough, as well as Halo Infinite long enough, you come down for that melee, all of a sudden it's a wacky angle and you've gotten back whacked and there's the wrong metal in the feed that you don't think should be there. But I couldn't agree more. It was just the poking and prodding from OpTic Gaming, the way they kept FaZe 2 dead for so long, has paved the way for a, so far, green wall across the series layout. They're one game away from sending us to a best of 7, and this has been one of the fastest championship Sundays we've seen so far, and it continues to be fast. Take a look here at the CTF matchup at Dallas so far.
FaZe, perfect. OpTic Gaming, not so much. Average margin of the win as well in CTFs. Very, very impressive from FaZe. But those stats, you've got to take into account what's probably going through the heads of the players on the stage right now. It's a very different feeling if this was a 0-0 series and we're going into CTF as game number 1, right? Because FaZe have just been battered. It's as simple as that, battered in that last game. Even though it ended up 2-1, so much of the time was spent on the respawn screen that it's difficult to get your head into the next game and forget about how that last game felt. So first flag cap here could be really influential on if we see another game of Halo, or if we reset the bracket here and go to a second best of 7.
Look at Trippy's stats so far as well. 1.54 CTF KD, as well as 6 caps. 10 steals, big numbers from him. So far outclassing Renegade, but it's been a different story so far this series. FaZe needs to be ready to play at a blistering pace in this game, but they also have to watch out. That is a very, very two-sided sword if you think about the opposite side of that blade. If they play this too fast and lose control of their base, they could see themselves on the receiving end of a double cap with the speed at which OpTic Gaming is playing today.
Yeah, that's the level of Halo we're talking about on Coliseum capture the flag. You go 4 dead, and either team has rockets and a sniper rifle, there's a good chance you're going to lose 2 flags. That's how good teams can be when it comes to this particular game type, which I have to say, I love being back in the suite of game types we have for the HCS this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's provided a lot of, as we said, new action across the new game modes and new challenges, and so far, OpTic Gaming talking about how that wasn't their strong suit, and Slayers weren't their strong suit, and you could tell probably the Arlington elimination bracket run and this elimination bracket run has had something to do with it, but they have certainly brushed up on a lot of these game types. As you can see, it's all smiles on the face of OpTic Gaming so far, and for good reason.
It's all smiles for OpTic, apart from Legend.
Look at
Legend is looking at his monitor as if he's going to kill everything on the server.
He actually has been.
Which is what he does.
Yeah, that's what he's been doing, keeping the hands warm as well, and that man is focused.
So you guys stop enjoying yourselves. We've got a game to win here.
Love it from Legend. It has absolutely shown in the gameplay. Love the discipline that we've seen from him time and time again. How about, as we have a moment before this game starts, about his gameplay on that King of the Hill. Solitude, it has been a different level of thoughtful, intentional gameplay. And you could tell with Legend's expression right now, it's because this man is absolutely locked in.
He's got the look of a man who's annoyed that he's not playing Halo. Because he spent so much of his
I
life
thought the game was going to start.
Yeah. Can we just play more? What do I do between games of Halo?
He goes, there's one more game in the series, and I want it to start right now.
Well, CTF Origin is where we're going to be heading. If we do get to a next game, though, it is going to be Slayer Streets, where FaZe, we go back to that Slayer record. Even though they didn't get that win on the board in game number 2, they can rely on the fact that they know they're pretty good at the game type. And then it's 3-2, and it looks very, very different. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on if FaZe can take this one. This is the leaders when it comes to kills and KD for OpTic Gaming in this grand final. That's a 1.44 and a 1.49. respectively for Formal and Renegade, but the damage diff, very notable. Formal is shooting everything.
Everything. And how about 52 kills apiece? That is a wild stat line. When you talk about kind of spreading the work across an all-star God squad like this, the fact that they would each have 52 kills apiece, pretty wild to see time and time again just how much OpTic Gaming, each member, doing their part so far on another elimination bracket run so far.
It's interesting when we talk about OpTic, and we've sort of discussed it a lot. It's like, oh, one player feels a bit quiet. It's like, there's only so many kills to go around. Like, if one player goes plus 30, like
exactly.
nobody else can. Like, you could look at that and go, well, are Legend and Bound playing well? Look at their POVs. They're playing insane. Everybody's playing insane. And
that's how you get
it's adding
like
up to map wins,
yeah.
right? And it's adding up to the domination that we're seeing.
I mean, sitting backstage, to be honest, you and I, between the first series and coming back on to grand finals, it felt like no time at all. And I'm sure everyone here in the arena, as well as everyone watching at home, is thinking the same thing, that this has been one of the overall fastest championship Sundays so far, and that is largely because of the speed at which OpTic Gaming has won their games and their series today so far. We just saw the FaZe Clan boys, and you have to think, even without even thinking of where this series goes, they need some games on the board here just to stay alive, I would think, overall in terms of morale in the grand final.
Need to find something. Need to dig deep here. Find a little bit of maybe you need that conversation that's like, make someone laugh, puts a smile on their face, just breaks the ice a little bit, because it's been a difficult series for FaZe to find something to laugh about so far. But one game on the board and things will start to feel a little bit different for them. We are now ready to go to CTF Origin. DreamHack, we having a good time out here in this grand final? That's what we like to hear.
Packed house yet again, and guess what? No surprise, as the grand final goes, we are standing room only all the way to the back of the venue. Welcome to the grand finals here. If you're just joining us, 3-0 for OpTic Gaming. They look to close out the grand final number 1 here. And if they do so, they will force us to a... Whoa, the rush comes in.
Hey, FaZe!
FaZe Clan wants to stop them to finish that thought from sending us to a second best of 7. But for FaZe Clan to win, we haven't said it just yet, but it needs to be said. They will need to reverse sweep with 4 wins straight to close out the title in just 1 game.
Well, if you're worried about FaZe not being on the same page, I think that opening strategy maybe changes that, as all 3 players just fly in G-slide towards the OpTic members who are weak. It's 3 dead on either side at the moment, but the first spawners will be out for OpTic. Bound is looking for that sniper rifle at the moment, not sure where it has fallen. He does manage to collect it. Legend has rockets, Bound has sniper. FaZe, not a situation you want to be in here.
Let's see what Legend does. Only 1 rocket to play with, though, but you can bet he'll put it to use, and of course he does. He takes up the kill. Tries to stay alive in cave, but not an easy thing to do. But when you're moving like this, you get your shield back.
He's also got the thrust, so he can reach out. He can give himself a second to get out of a sticky situation. No more to play with, though, but still comes out of that fight with his life. 3 dead for FaZe. Finally, Suppressed puts him in the grave.
Finally taken down, an absolute back and forth, just brutal exchange of kills off the opening. Really no advantage just yet, despite the fact that you had Legend staying alive much longer than he should have in his opponent's cave. Here comes the push yet again.
Legend's got the sniper rifle now. So off the spawn, he finds a couple of bullets to have some fun with. 2 more left in the chamber for the Frenchman here. Jeez. There's 1 body shot. It's 3 dead again for FaZe. 2 off the respawn. Legend's got 1 bullet, but boy, can he put this to use.
Let's see what he does here from the elbow. They have a lot of pressure coming in from both the elbow as well as the diving board. Going to meet some opponents here. Does not connect, however. That will likely buy FaZe a moment to push out of their base.
Trying to clear out Renegade, who's still in their cave at the moment. They managed to do so. 25 seconds or so until those rockets pop up on the map as well. Suppress playing the rocket stream, trying to pin OpTic back as they spawn on the elbow.
And as we said, it feels like it's a rare moment when FaZe has a second to breathe in any of these game types, and we generally never say that. Halo Infinite, yes, a fast-paced Halo title, but generally there's a little bit more time for play calling here. That has not been the case for FaZe. They're 3 dead again.
Suppress just came off spawn as well in the cave. It's a little bit of a staggered 4 dead situation for them. And again, they're having to play on the back foot. Not a lot of progress up the map for FaZe at the moment. It's kind of a repeat of the opening that we saw in the previous game. but they just can't find the necessary kills to get up the map. They're 3 dead again here. Trippy last alive.
See what Trippy can do, and Suppress off the spawn very luckily takes out Formal. That will once again give them just a bit of space, and that's an important trade as 4 will fall for OpTic Gaming.
Renegade first off the respawn on the elbow, and finally FaZe can get onto the OpTic side of the map. But Renegade off the respawn wins his fight.
Keep an eye on those rocks. Thrust up as well, so
First spawner gets 2.
Renegade does get the thrust, but I believe it's a rocket grab. Yes, from the side of FaZe. No, not yet. Trippy was up the rocket ramp, but he's forced back down due to the snipe presence coming in from OpTic.
So split across the map at the moment. Yeah, FaZe having to play on this rocket side because of the pressure and the sniper rifle that's in the hands of this man. A little bit of a rare miss coming in from Legend with this weapon. Falcated is going to just try and bide some time, play his life. Suppressed is going to find another one, and now the shots become more difficult for Legend as FaZe will pressurize him. And the flag starts to move. And even though he gets the body shot, Penguin gets that flag out.
2 still dead for OpTic Gaming. 3v1. Formal's the last player alive, and Suppress finally gets the rockets. Lots of elbow presence here. Legend split spawns though. How does Suppress play this?
Will he connect with this rocket? Trippy will with the bullet from the sniper rifle. The flag is still down. OpTic will have to force their way forward. Trippy can't connect this time around. Renegade's moving in to try and get that return, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do it. So a scary moment here for OpTic Gaming, but they do send that flag back home.
Certainly, and you could say for the first time this series, FaZe Clan showing up in a big way. That's 3 dead now for OpTic, and the pressure continues.
FaZe starting to find a little bit of chemistry here. Killing spree for Trippy, 5 kills in a row. And they're going to have to summon Big Game Trip at this point because this is Trippy. He's just struggling to find a little bit of momentum at the moment. As are the rest of his FaZe Clan teammates. 3-0 the series score at the moment. Still tied up in this game. No real moments where that objective has moved and we felt like there's an opportunity for that flag to be completely run back.
Yeah, absolutely. Big trades here coming in. Finally, 2 dead for both sides. And as we said, FaZe putting up their best fight yet. Let's see how the comms are on the side of OpTic Gaming, how they're going to finally break this FaZe wall.
He jumped E-bun, on E-bun.
Watch over trench. Grass one also.
Watch over trench.
Dead, 2 dead. We have help, he's weak. 3 dead.
Let's go, one more. Could be outside,
He's double.
Ready, I'm looking for him, where is he?
He just needed this.
No, no.
We have rockets pushing elbow. We have rockets
One
pushing
second.
elbow.
We'll kill that guy.
Got one.
One side, I'm weak. One side, guys.
I flag,
We have rockets or flag, just trying to
Be
live.
red card, be red card. There's our sniper, flag, one's our flag, tripping.
Close to the cave.
Do that.
One's our flag, guys, cover.
Where they are, they're maze weak, foul.
Blue mace, watch out, blue mace.
Watch out, blue maze, foul, absolute.
Yeah,
Grass one, blue
You guys
silver.
on John.
You guys grass both one, blue BR1, John.
Watch out,
Go back.
Okay.
One watch out.
Yo, blue Siggy. One blue Siggy on you. Every last guy. Nice, good shit.
Flags one.
Nice, good shit.
The window.
Watch out the window, express.
Cyber.
Sniper stop up.
Out the comms and into the game, and FaZe show some life. They get the first flag on the board. And for the first time in this series, FaZe are leading a game. They're up to 1-0.
And what a wild series of events. When we started that listening, we had 4 dead, and OpTic Gaming pushing in with the rockets as well as the next rotation beginning. Renegade spent a lot of resources on pre-rocketing the back of the base and then checking the back of the base. In the end, they get counter-capped on. FaZe takes a lead, as you say, 1-0.
So FaZe finally with something to talk about. Showing some signs of life in this series. Renegade does have the sniper rifle, and we'll find 1. 2 dead here for FaZe as OpTic continue to control this snipe side of the map.
And it feels like doing it in true OpTic Gaming fashion, right? Never the easy way. Set up once again. If they want to do it in this game, it will need to be a comeback story. 5 minutes on the clock.
Renegade hears the footsteps. And we'll find the kill, but Falcated did take one to the grave before he went down himself. FaZe have got just under 5 minutes to hold on in this game to get this game on the board. Nice body shot from Renegade, but not without damage being exchanged. Trippy flies in. Formal is there after the no-scope from Renegade to keep his teammate alive.
How much have those two been watching each other this entire weekend? It's been amazing to see. Renegade, by the way, 17-9. Some of the most unbelievable consistent stat lines we've seen in the opening 2 events of a season. And he's not done yet.
And now he's searching for a penguin. On Can't quite find him, but finds the body of Suppressed. Knows the Penguin's still alive somewhere or other. Gets the comms, gets the call out, will get the cleanup with this grenade. 2 dead here for FaZe, and still a bullet to play with that doesn't connect this time around for Renegade.
Comes around the corner with a sniper rifle and a terror for Penguin. He gets hit by both in the end. Rocket grab once again for Legend. Can they make it happen this time? It's the same exact setup. 3 dead, rockets in hand. Can they do it?
Legend's gonna have to be the flag runner here. Look at that kill feed. If it's a FaZe member that goes down, there's a massive opportunity for OpTic to run this flag. Remember, Legend still has these rockets to play with.
Loses a second on the run though. Loses a second based on the flag juggle. Has to burn 2 rockets. Has to burn both. And you have to wonder if the split second that cost them on the flag fumble will come back to bite them. It will. A triple kill for Trippy. 4 dead for OpTic.
OpTic fluffed their lines.
Enemy flag
Cannot get that flag back home. Cannot get the kills they required to make that flag run cleanly towards their base. And Trippy clutches up with an initial double. The rest of FaZe deal with the rest of OpTic. And now OpTic have got to be careful that they don't get capped on themselves. They're still 2 dead and FaZe are moving this flag.
Form was also weak here in the fountain. Good silver control from Trippy. Wins the battle. It's another killing spree for Trippy.
And we mentioned now they need big game Trick. Well, he's 20 and 15 right now. He might be looking to make it 21. Renegade will win the fight, but it's 3 dead on the side of FaZe right now. And Bound will get the kill onto Falcania to slow this run down. But Penguin still alive, still being a nuisance under the base. Renegade has more work to do.
Legend has to work here with Renegade. There's a cave player here, Suppressed, who wants to get a touch on this fountain flag.
Now FaZe have a decision to make. Do we try and force this flag? Do we protect our own? The flag will be returned for OpTic Gaming. As Renegade finds 2. A triple will open the door for OpTic to get this flag moving. Formal, moving in, looking for that final kill. Getting that flag moving.
Look at the move as well. Doesn't even bother with Penguin. They leave Penguin back. He's putting it stop. They did not kill Penguin. They didn't kill anyone.
3 dead for OpTic, and another opportunity to run a flag slips through their fingers. FaZe with defensive plays that are heart-wrenching for both sets of fans. 2 dead here for OpTic. Bound going to be taken down as well. Formal's last alive here on the elbow. He's going to be dealt with as well. It's 4 dead. Trippy can run this flag towards the elbow.
Renegade first spawner in the fountain. Might get the kill.
Suppressed killed him.
Does not cut him down. Suppressed holding down the snipe side angle. Second flag running for FaZe.
Suppressed with the game in his hands. Penguin finds 1 though. Formal challenging from the window. Flag is down. And so are pieces of Formal's visor. That is a nasty shot coming in from Suppressed. FaZe are running this one home.
And we're seeing FaZe and Suppressed as this second flag, yes, indeed, go home. Suppressed and the rest of FaZe clan showing up in a big way for the first time in this series. They are alive and they are leading by 2. That could be the dagger for game number 4.
3 dead for OpTic again. And boy, did FaZe need this. It cannot be understated how much FaZe needed this to believe they can stay in this series, to believe that they can hurt OpTic Gaming. And these kind of shots, as 4 OpTic players will fall, will continue to build that confidence, kill by kill, shot by shot here for players like Suppressed.
Look at the damage from Suppressed there. Sit in front, diving board damage into 2 players. In the end, gets helped out as well. They're not done yet. 4 dead yet again. It's a frenzy for Suppressed in his first ever grand final.
And now he gets the rockets as well. 10 kills without a response. As he's looking for more, blind firing the rockets, but it doesn't matter because FaZe have done enough. They run the flag home, and FaZe tell everyone here at DreamHack that there's more Halo to play in this grand final.
What a game from FaZe Clan. It took a little while for them to get hot, but once they did, they changed the course of this series. Now, of course, still a very long road as they trail 3-1, but I think most importantly for FaZe fans, as you said, it's signs of life.
It's signs of life, but there's also, you're starting to see those moments of brilliance, which is what we talked about with OpTic so many times. A big play from a Renegade, a Formal, Bound, Legend. Pick your poison on the OpTic side. But Suppressed and Trippy, one offensively with that sniper rifle, but one defensively. Trippy got so many important defensive kills to keep that game tied up initially at 0-0, where OpTic was swarming all over their base.
So many times.
The great news for FaZe as well is once they got that flag moving, they did not make mistakes. They capped.
I cannot believe, I cannot wait to see some highlights, specifically because OpTic, time and time again, perfectly timed from the team in the back. We take a look at some of the best moments from that game, and there were many. Time and time again, FaZe had 3 or 4 dead with the Rockets wrapping elbow side. And to everyone's surprise, certainly ours and certainly theirs as well, unable to get those flags properly off the stand. And this thing, let's not forget, 5 minutes in, we were still here 0-0.
It's amazing how FaZe get that first flag, and then they just look like a different team. Just completely look like a different team, and not the team that we saw. This was a big moment here. That looks like a big miscommunication from OpTic. Legend looked like he wasn't sure where anyone was.
Looked like he was pre-firing. Also, as we said, he flag fumbled. If he doesn't flag fumble, that is about 1/2 second to 1 second where he's further down trench, and none of that takes place. He probably hits the G-slide all the way down to his side trench, and it could have been a 1-1 game. So look at this play from Suppress. I love it. Isolates, engages both, then ISOs the 1v1. The team in the back already knows we had to see it twice as the team finishes that. He wasn't done here. Comes up elbow, stays alive with even more help.
Wins the fight against Renegade as well. A little bit of help comes in to help him do so. But I think the biggest shot, in my opinion, that Suppress hits in this game is when they're running that flag. That's the killing frenzy, by the way. 10 without response. Don't see that very often, especially in the grand final. They're looking for that second flag. Last player alive is shooting the flag runner in the back, and Suppressed hits the headshot with that snipe on the elbow.
Look at both these guys, 25 kills, 50 kills with just the Suppressed Trippy duo. 1.32 and 1.39 KD, respectively.
Shooting good, shooting great. And they're gonna have to continue to do that, though. If they want to pull this series back a little bit closer, it's 1 game on the board. It's the start of a comeback here for FaZe, and now we move in our series layout towards a Slayer. They lost the first one, but like we highlighted before any bullets were fired in this grand final, FaZe's Slayers this tournament, outside of that game number 2, have been flawless.
Really, really surprising to see the way that went down for OpTic Gaming. They had so many chances, and how perfect have they been today? It felt like every single push, every single break up until that moment was exactly what OpTic Gaming wanted to do. But now FaZe, with a game on the board and maybe some momentum, can they stay alive in the series? Of course, OpTic Gaming still just 1 game away from resetting the bracket.
Yeah, that's the bigger picture still for OpTic here. 1 game is all they need to reset the bracket and send us to a second best of 7 in our grand finals. Suppress is going to get that red gun early on. The Stalker in their control. As attention now moves towards the camo. Found in a 1v1 here with Trippy. Trippy wins it! And all of a sudden, you're starting to see a couple of FaZe players win those big individual fights.
Absolutely worth noting just how slow the start of this was. We'll have a chance to talk about it after the camo grab, but Renegade gets away with the camo, most importantly for OpTic Gaming.
His teammates do an amazing job of keeping him alive because he was dodging bullets left and right. FaZe knew that he was somewhere, but weren't able to spot him out. He's also got the Stalker rifle in his hands, and FaZe aren't moving here.
Trying to bait the camo out. Trying to waste the time and see if they can ISO. Oh. They don't know.
Finds 1, turns 2. Renegade with the double kill here. It might be a triple. All 4 dead for FaZe. A beautiful push from OpTic Gaming.
Beautifully done there. And honestly, FaZe tried to bait out the camo timing and play in pairs at both music as well as PD, but they get involved in the A battles, and when you do that, you can no longer try to eagle eye the camo, and Renegade plays it perfectly. The rest of OpTic plays it perfectly, and now they have this 11-6 lead.
Okay, weak at the back of the tower as well as a killing spree bound. 5-1 for him at the start of this game. And 5 without response since that death.
Dangerous scenes here for FaZe because it feels like all the momentum off that last game with a 7-kill deficit and OpTic doubling their score so far has all but been erased.
I mean, Bound is to be in the ultimate bait here. Every time he's no shields, a FaZe player moves in to clean him up, he just pushes him away with that repulse.
That repulse felt very on brand for Bound's personality.
It really did.
Nice little trolly. Give me just a second, I'll be right back with you.
Former versus Penguin. Penguin's going to win that one, just dancing around the palm trees. But still a 6-kill advantage here. Make that 7 for OpTic. As FaZe steal away the camo. How's the last player alive here? Sees 4 more, has to take the fight due to the fact that he's already going to be seen as that camo was just taking a second to come back and give him full coverage. And OpTic will shut that down.
If Val trying to do everything he can, as you said in 1v4, he'll be happy to have burned the camo, but S4 will fall for FaZe. OpTic still essentially just about doubling their score of their opponent still at this mark of the game.
Stalker in the hands of Renegade as well. Thanks. What a push that is from Penguin, by the way. Wow. Most important kill on the map, the player with the Stalker rifle they deal with. Penguin looking to move in, but slightly aggressive in that situation. Maybe thought there was more damage than there was. And OpTic will hold and take down 2 FaZe players once again. 26-14 the score.
I agree. It was a good aggression there from Penguin, but definitely thought that maybe the team comp on the map was differently to fly, not just through tires, but to fly laundry bottom mid front A. Essentially gets absolutely melted right away. So maybe a little bit of difference in understanding on the comms of exactly how much damage had been done and where. Even though we're seeing FaZe start to trade out just a little bit more and bring the game back within some sort of reason, it's still 27-16.
Yeah, trades aren't going to win the game here for FaZe. They need to get in a position where they're going 3 for 1, even 4 for 1 in some of these pushes, which is very difficult to do with a team that's so disciplined in these situations like OpTic. OpTic just know they have to stay close enough to trade each other's kills.
Bound, by the way, 10-3. More than triple positive at this stage in the game. And we're, by the way, past the halfway mark to be over triple positive. Not something we say every game, let alone every grand final.
Put it into context, FaZe have 17 kills. Bound has contributed to 16 kills. If you add those assists alongside the kills he already has. 3 dead though for OpTic Gaming. Legend might be going down as well, but he still gets out of this situation. We've got just 1 kill, but 2.
Wait.
Trippy in the 1v1 versus Legend. Somehow Legend wins that one!
Take it, frame it, put it in a museum. If that doesn't sum up what Legend will do to your team as the last player alive, I don't know what does. And as a result, OpTic Gaming is in the lead by 10 yet again.
We hear the Let's Go OpTic chant start as well. I want to know what that is in French. My French isn't great, but they're going to have to learn it soon because Legend has been unbelievable in those last player alive situations. No right to come out of that with 1 kill. A trade would have been brilliant. He takes 3 down from FaZe.
Can't let that happen. That's the type of sequence where you're watching the first kill and you go, shouldn't have gotten that one. Definitely shouldn't have gotten that one. And for the third one, I mean, that was just icing on the cake. 37-29.
OpTic just got to not make mistakes here and they will reset the bracket.
Formal's in no rush. Love it. Just gonna screen watch here.
Hey, take it when you're in the cafe. Sometimes it's nice to just put your feet up.
This is not a takeaway.
Get yourself an oat milk latte.
This coffee is for here.
I feel like Formal's more of a cold brew kind of guy. 38-29. Renegade finds another FaZe member to add to his tally. Suppress no shields. Formal finds him as well. FaZe are falling at the moment like dominoes. They're wilting a little bit here. They're down by 10. OpTic only need 10 to send us to that second best of 7.
I knew the nade was coming and then just scurries away right after the nade. Blows up. Beautifully timed yet again. And as you say, 9 kills to go for OpTic Gaming, and with an 11-kill lead, it really is just a victory lap for them here.
Camo's going up as well when they get that first kill once again in the team fight. And Legend sees that opportunity to try and get behind enemy lines here. All eyes on the camo here for FaZe. All eyes on kills here for Legend. He'll win that one as well. It's another double kill for him. He's 12-6. Double positive in this game.
With 10 assists, by the way, double the assists of anyone else on the team. With a stat line like that, it's easy to understand why they're just 4 kills away.
Trippy down. Formal picks up another one. It's just 3 to go now. As Legend tries to hold off 2 members of FaZe. If there's anyone that could do it, though, with the work we've seen so far in this game, it's probably Samri.
49 on the board, just 1 kill to go here for OpTic Gaming.
Trippy gets 1, but it's not going to be enough. Formal closes out, and OpTic Gaming send us to a second best of 7. OpTic reset the bracket. And now it's a shootout between FaZe and OpTic as to who will be your champions here at DreamHack.
They do it again. And on Championship Sunday, we do not mind more Halo. Bring on the second best of 7. OpTic Gaming, it only took 5 games. They send us the distance and 1 more series for the trophy here in Dallas.
Only the 1 game. FaZe managed to get on the board there. and only one game that really felt like they had a chance in. The other 3, it was complete domination. Excuse me, the other 4, it was a complete domination from OpTic Gaming, who just look set and ready to lift that trophy you can see on your screens right now. But we also see sometimes some funny things, right? The first series can go one way, and then we have a much more competitive second one. Let's go back to Arlington, for example, where OpTic ran through Shopify Rebellion in that first best of 7, reset the bracket, and then we end up going to the last second of a game 7 to decide who is going to be your champion. But 50-35, Andy, just incredible.
Not close, and Legend goes 13 once again. 13, 6, and 11 assists. The only player with double-digit assists in the game. And damage led by Bound on the side of OpTic Gaming, the only player in the lobby on 4K.
Impressive stuff from all of OpTic. Difficult to really pick holes in what we have seen from them so far. The CTF Origin, just a blip, it feels like, as they take game number 1, 4-1 on King of the Hill Recharge. 50-45 on Solitude, and then 2-1. But it could have easily been a 2-0, maybe even more for them on that Aquarius neutral bomb. 50-35 to close it out. OpTic Gaming, they reset the bracket. Lot, Wes, OpTic are looking for a second chip.
They certainly are indeed. It's very reminiscent of what happened the last time around. I will say this was very one-sided, and I'm not really surprised by that, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think we had a picture-perfect example of that the last time in Arlington, and it can be very difficult. I will say, you know, I'm going to give something to FaZe, and on the side, getting that CTF across the board 3-0, that was clean. That was a nice little pit stop there, just to show us you have signs of life. And honestly, that's what I was looking for in this first best of 7. I wasn't necessarily thinking that FaZe were going to come right out of the gates and totally knock OpTic off of that main stage. I'll be real with you. So to see signs of life is promising, but I will say OpTic, they have momentum. And not only that, Wes, they are just gaining the firepower. Every single member of the team has stepped up in whether it's whatever map or mode or moment. They are having these huge, huge kills that are just opening up the map. And FaZe, they just don't know what to do with it. It's just too much. So how are you feeling about OpTic right now and their chances at really doing this once again?
I mean, it's deja vu. It's deja vu all over again from Arlington. This is an OpTic team that nobody seems to have an answer on how to stop, how to actually eliminate this team from a tournament. We saw them hoist the trophy in Arlington, and they look like they're primed and ready to go 7 more games to get another trophy into their hands. And right now, I mean, it's Formal that's the difference for me. His damage so far today has been unbelievable. And it's like that Royal 2 Anchor-esque position where you got Bound and Legend flying in, you got Renegade creating some space for him. And if the pressure is off Formal as far as like gunplay, then Formal's going to lay down enough damage for those guys to have the success that we are seeing, and that is a dangerous OpTic, as you can see from the scoreline, 4-1.
I've got to say, Wes, picture perfect with that, because Formal, not only is he just doing his role well, he's doing it and some. The anchor that is coming from him is unbelievable, just peppering with shots. The damage that is coming across, I'm really curious to see where we're at in terms of damage and kills for him, like we saw in that head-to-head graphic between him and Renegade, because I can only imagine it's significantly higher and better. I mean, he is not only making sure that every single person has some sort of fight for them to clean up, but he's cleaning up the fights himself. We saw the kills. They were leading with Renegade. He was up there with him, and that is just unbelievable. That is just something that is so difficult to comprehend if you are the opposition. One other note I will say, I'm a little bit worried about FaZe. And they're going to have to dig deep here, Wes. And I wanted to talk to you about this because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we've got a huge crowd in the building. It is unbelievable. And I know a lot of OpTic fans who are coming over from, the COD League and coming over from OpTic. Obviously, OpTic being knocked out there. They're coming over to show their support to their favorite org. And that's something that FaZe is going to have to deal with.
Yeah, here's the problem. The atmosphere in the room is only going to get tougher to play against. And FaZe has been so steady all weekend long, but throughout this series, you saw individuals giving their lives when they didn't have to, over-challenging some situations. It shows me the nerves of the moment is getting to FaZe. I wish I could be just like someone in their ear during this backstage opportunity and be like, guys, relax. Like, you're in this moment, you belong in this series, you can win this tournament still. but you got to take a deep breath. You got to take your time, and individually, you are responsible for staying alive on the map, for dealing damage, playing good Halo, something that we have seen FaZe do all tournament long, no matter who they were playing against. It seems like they're loosening up as far as how tight they were playing, and it's frustrating to watch from a third person.
Onset, I want to say with FaZe also in the building, and I'm sure many fans rooting for them too equally, I think there's one guy you got to keep your eye on and keep your hopes on as well, and that's Big Game Trip. And he has been phenomenal this series as well, stepping up when it matters most. Trippy has been great, and I'm so excited to see what they can do in this second best of 7. What do you make of the FaZe roster right now, and how potentially they can inflate themselves after such a deflating first series?
I think it's, Wes has summed it up really well. You know, this doesn't become a bad team just from one series. This is a team that has gone through the winners bracket, has walked into the grand final from the winners bracket. I think just, like you say, go relax, have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun with it, like crack a few jokes, try and just like take the pressure off of yourselves and remind yourself that you're 4 very talented players and one incredibly talented team. And that can happen just with a game 1 going your way in a second best of 7. Forget about that, what just happened there. It's now 1 series. It's a grand final. It's 0-0. None of that has happened before. Come out and play your best Halo and make it simple.
Yeah, I use the term pressure, and I mean it in so many different facets, right? I mean it as far as like you're falling behind, you're losing the advantage that you have at the first best of 7. You see it game by game going. You find yourself down 3-0. There's a lot of pressure that comes with making sure that you take advantage of the opportunities you've given yourself, but also the pressure that OpTic Gaming are putting on FaZe throughout the maps. Like the actual pace of play itself in the server is something that FaZe Clan are struggling to deal with. You see them trying to match that style, and that's not how FaZe Clan are going to win this tournament. FaZe Clan have to figure out a way to play their own brand of Halo while managing the pressure that OpTic is putting on it, not trying to match OpTic's pressure and speed of game.
Indeed, I've got to say, you're looking right now across the stats here, the damage from Formal, just shy of 30k.
It's unbelievable.
Crazy, crazy scenes from him. Just unbelievable. 90 kills he's got. 90 kills, and just trailing ever so slightly behind Renegade with 97. Just incredible scenes all around from OpTic Gaming. And I will say, you know, we talk about FaZe and trying to have to dig deep here on set, but I do think there is some promise here. I think they need to improve, but they're warm now, and hopefully they can really put this to the test here.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to Bound as well, because you look at the KDs and it's 0.9. He's not positive, but he's definitely leading assist-wise. Like the amount of damage he's been outputting and the amount of assists that he has contributed to the team's success is why Renegade is hugely positive, is why Formal is hugely positive. He is creating so much space on the map, and when he's doing that and the rest of OpTic are looking at him when he's on the map, keeping him alive a few extra seconds, that can turn from a 4v4 situation into 4v2 very quickly if you just manage to keep Bound alive a second or so extra.
Yeah, the longer Bound lives, the more damage Formal's able to put down because focus isn't on him, it's on Bound, who's in the front lines. I think the difference right now between this OpTic Gaming here and the one in Arlington, it was the Renegade show in Arlington. The big question was this OpTic ceiling that we saw back at that time? Well, when he gets matched by Formal, even outdone by Formal in the damage department, this OpTic team becomes even scarier.
Yeah, and honestly, I think there's something to be said here while we're looking at the championship bracket here on the winner's side, Brav, is the fact that I think a lot of questions were kind of posed when this roster came together. How is this going to work? On paper, this is wild. This is everyone's like fantasy team. This is crazy, right? You've got all the main slayers that you could ask for, taken from every single different facet of the HCS, put them together, but does it work, right? How is it possible that this is going to be a good team dynamic with good teamwork, right? I'm just honestly just so shocked at how selfless they can be at certain times. And it's working. It's working perfectly, Brav. How are you feeling about the dynamic at this point in time in the season and how they're progressing, especially with their teamwork?
I feel great, especially about these two as we take a look at their grand final stats. But I feel great. I feel like Halo Infinite, you know, and modern Halos, you could say the same about H5, is a game where when what you need to do is more influenced by where you spawn than your role on the team, right? So when you take the superstar kind of god tier roster that we're looking at, they know exactly what they need to do in any given moment. Are they getting snipe? Are they dropping snipe? Are they flying at the objective? Are they staying alive? And when you look at a Halo title like this, when you put talent like this together and awareness, this is what you get. And as we've said as well, they continue to get better with every series that they have on LAN as well.
And one thing we haven't even commented on, and every time we've gone to a listen-in with OpTic, we assumed that Formal was going to be the IGL of this team, just with his known leadership. But listen to Renegade, the maturity from this kid while putting up the stats that he's putting at. He's saying things on recharge like, guys, just watch, pick up the crosses. We don't have to push. We're good right now. Like, things like that go so far. You have to think teaming with Snakebite and FaZe last year really matured Renegade in order to, like, not just go, 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 go. Not all the time do you need to be setting the pace. Some of the time you can go back into the traditional setup. And I think that it just adds to the beast that this OpTic team is so much.
I think it just goes back to that argument as well, Mark, just before you jump in, that there is no IGL in Halo. And I think that has to be abolished at this point in Halo Infinite. It might have been in previous iterations, but right now it seems to be that the collective pro players agree there is no IGL. You call a play as you see a play, you trust your teammates to know what is happening on their screen is the most important thing, and that they have assessed the situation, and that's exactly what we're seeing from OpTic.
There's always going to be a player on the map who can see more than everyone else, so you're relying on that communication and trusting your teammate to rely what they see as being the correct thing for you to play off the back of. And I think one of the reasons that OpTic having so much success as well is, like, we talked a lot about chemistry at this event and teams.
Yeah.
You look at, like, natural tendencies of the players on OpTic, they all interact so well together with the way that they see the game, the way that they read the game. It's like Bound, like we're saying, he's a frontline player. You've got a player like Formal outputting damage behind him. You've got Renegade who's going to play a different angle, look to create an angle himself, and Legend who just likes to take a 1v1 and be kind of a little bit of a hammer when it comes to those individual fights. It's a natural chemistry where no one really has to overthink things too much, because naturally their playstyles mesh so well together.
We saw the second best of 7, and I have so much I want to talk about on that graphic. All right, first off, FaZe, you got to win your Slayers if you expect to win this tournament. There's 3 of them at best of 7, obviously, but the new map mode combinations are what are going to keep you in this series. OpTic have been vocal about how frustrating some of them are and how they do not favor them over the other ones. We saw how the Origin CTF was too late into the series for them to get into that series correctly. You saw Game 2 is going to be Origin Slayer, an opportunity. CTF Aquarius, something that they beat down good teams on. FaZe does, I'm sorry. Another opportunity. You see Game 6 as well is going to be Fortress Bomb. Each of those games are going to be how FaZe can win this tournament. But OpTic Gaming figuring out a way to stay in this series. By the time Origin CTF came up last time, it was too late. It was a matter of when is this series going to end, not if it's going to end in OpTic's favor.
Indeed, you are ever so right there, Wes, and I cannot wait to see what happens, because hopefully this will be a back and forth series like we expected from Arlington. I expect it this time around here. Can FaZe Clan pick themselves up off the floor? They have one more to do it, or will OpTic Gaming just continue on that stride and just unbelievably good Halo that we're witnessing here this weekend? Well, folks, we are ready to go. The Grand Finals reset is ready, and I am so excited to hand on over to Onset and Brav for one more time.
Let's do it one more time. Let's see what happens in this second best of 7. Let's take a look at the map records then. Just to reiterate, if you're watching for the first time, you've been drawn in by the noise coming here from the stage, and you're watching some Halo for the first time. This is now a single best of 7 to decide who becomes the champion here at the HCS Open in Dallas at DreamHack. Quite simply, win the best of 7, you will be champions. Andy, what are you seeing from these map records between FaZe and OpTic?
Tell you what, that game number 1 is so important for FaZe Clan for obvious reasons. They might have a winning record, but OpTic Gaming's winning record is even stronger. The reason that game 1's important, I think they need belief, they need hope. Let's not forget, when we went into game number 1 in Arlington, Shopify was able to take game number 1. That gave them the gas to at least send the series to 7 games. And I think a lot of people are wondering, even though we saw moments of brilliance from FaZe in that game number 4, question is, do they have the gas in the tank to play another best of 7? We're about to find out here with this game number 1.
Well, the great news for FaZe is the fact that because they came from that winner's side, they are still in this grand final. They still have a chance to call themselves champions, but OpTic Gaming will be full of momentum and full of energy heading towards this second best of 7, knowing that they could possibly become champions. But it's going to be 2 down off the rip here for OpTic. FaZe seem to be just a little bit more relaxed.
Right, welcome along to your second best of 7 here. Nice work.
Suppress it.
Outdone there by Legend, and a kill looked like he was going to get for free. 2 dead here for FaZe Clan with the camo popping, but welcome along here to your second best of 7. We hope you got your snacks, your drinks, and you're locked in for even more Sunday Night Halo.
Bound was last player alive there, and Trippy was able to steal the camo away. So a great start to this game coming in from FaZe. They had control of the A and C strongholds at the end of the map and were scoring momentarily. They have given up A as the respawns now come in for OpTic, but with the camo in their hands, they should be able to get into a position where they can put some pressure onto the OpTic members, pick up a couple of kills, and look to recapture one of these strongholds.
Still 2 dead for FaZe, and OpTic still scoring as they will now go into the lead here. And Tributon do whatever he can with the camo, but he's largely been limited to just nest and C-plat angles.
Yeah, OpTic got out a little bit too easily towards B there. Val will find one, and Trippy now has to kind of engage once his shields have come back. Val will pick up a second one as well, and finally, methodically, FaZe can start to move towards B. There is another player still alive here that's going to be Formal. And Formal at the back of B is being an absolute nuisance, but those shots from Trippy were so important to win. Bound is on the pillars. Trippy with some more good shots, but not as good as Bounds. Trade will come in though, but still no conversion here on B, and OpTic have moved towards C.
Those 1v1s will continue to be so important. They were so important in the first series, and that's twice now that you've seen players from FaZe in battles they could have won, but an OpTic player answers back. However, FaZe Clan now scoring with an AB hold.
Another kill for Falcated as well, just taking down Formal. UT is up as well. 2 players going to try and force their way towards B here for OpTic. One on the pillars and one up on the nest. Val will be able to pop that Q2 if he wants to, just to give himself an out should it be required. And again, take him down. Great shots coming in from him, but elsewhere, OpTic are making the push onto A and will be able to flip this, but a 42-42 scoreline is where we find ourselves as OpTic start to score again.
Yeah, very nice comeback there from FaZe. They were trailing by about double. However, with a 20-point run, that brings them right back into the game. However, on the back foot yet again.
Just to explain once again, if you're walking by, you're watching Halo for the first time, the way the Strongholds works, control 2 or more of those Strongholds, get them in your control, you will be scoring. If you get all 3, you'll be scoring even quicker. As Renegade will find himself a camo.
Oh. A little bit of a surprising zoom in there, but not to worry. He will get the Killjoy, ending Falcated's spree. Of course, that spree a large part of why FaZe was able to get back in this game, but now it's OpTic still with the AC hold they maintain, and Renegade with a sniper rifle in hand.
Yeah, really big reset there as well. On to C, keeps them scoring, and now they're almost doubling the score of FaZe. 3 dead for FaZe, and the snipe in the hands of Renegade. Knowing that FaZe have to move towards one of these strongholds, you get the feeling we might have some headshots in our future.
They will get B, and he immediately rotates because he knows that the only push might be coming from dummies in top mid, and he guessed right. Good comms here from OpTic Gaming as Renegade will lock down top tower.
Penguin manages to find one. Suppress being a real nuisance, and Penguin will actually turn that into 2.
That snipe blade.
FaZe will be able to flip C, but the respawn is from OpTic already onto A. One thing I'm just worried a little bit about here from FaZe is a little bit slow to progress up the map once they get a couple of kills. They're letting OpTic challenge and defend the second stronghold they have control of.
Yeah, it feels like if there is any opening and remaining damage, the first spawners are not taking any advantage of it. They're really being forced to wait for each other, which, you know, at certain times is a necessary strategy, but you certainly don't want it to be the standard case. You want it to be the exception in a game, not the rule.
3 dead here for OpTic Gaming. Legend was last alive. Manages to survive. And now B, having been taken, A is going to be flipped here by FaZe as well. Flank coming in from Suppress, but just a little bit aggressive there, overly aggressive. As OpTic did have 3 members on the map, stacked up in and around C as they tried to slow the scoring here from FaZe.
Bound just flies around. You just tell that Trip wasn't even ready for that rat tunnel angle, but Bound just flies off of the cuts G-slide, gets that angle, and now, once again, gets all the way to A, and it will now be AC hold. They continue scoring at the 85 mark.
Trippy and Penguin pick up a couple of kills though. It's 2 dead for OpTic Gaming. Formal will find 1. As Val tries to finish off a couple of kills here and flip C back into the control of FaZe Clan. But even though they're inside, they got to worry about Formal. FaZe doing a really good job there actually to flush Formal out of the tower and make sure that he can't get a cheeky reset and keep that score in their favor. 3 dead, maybe even 4 dead here for OpTic Gaming, and FaZe seem to have calmed down and seem to have found some rhythm in their gameplay here on Strongholds.
Very good timing as well. Look, still 2 dead as they continue to stack. Might lose B here, but they will flip A, so will still be an AC hold for FaZe, and most importantly for them, they are still very much in this game. They only trail by 8.
Might be a flip of the score here. OpTic know they don't have camo as well. They're playing for A. Penguin is looking to make sure that there's nobody being sneaky in and around B. Instead, he's going to find a couple of players in front of them. There's Legend at the back of green as well. But he's going to be, excuse me, it was Bound who's at the back of B. He gets taken down, so B will get flipped pretty convincingly here, and it will be a lead change as FaZe will start to show a little bit of life here. C being flipped by OpTic. Penguin trying to make the move. Look at Renegade. Renegade so sneaky, so elusive. Gets the kill and the reset on A. Brilliance from Renegade.
Renegade just tucks the knees together and looks like a stone pillar. Does not get spotted out. That will play spoiler to just delay the A flip. Eventually a Legend taken out as well, so a momentary man advantage for just a second. And if Bound wins this one in back A, things are going to get messy. 3 dead for FaZe.
Double kill for Bound, and again, there was a reset on that stronghold in all of that carnage. Penguin now trapped at the back of B. He's going to be off the map. It was 3 dead momentarily for FaZe. They're all respawning around C. The double cap still being held here by OpTic, but this is a tight game. But Legend can make it a little bit more comfortable if he can hit a couple of bodies or even a couple of visors with the bullets from this sniper rifle.
What a response from OpTic. The fact that we got to see that first-person POV on what Renegade did. Look at the domino effect of Renegade staying alive at the edge of Rat Tunnel and what happens thereafter. OpTic Gaming has had control of the game since that moment. In a big 1v1, catching FaZe off guard.
It's been a game of double caps so far. Nobody's been able to get enough control and enough consecutive kills to look to secure a triple cap where we really will see the score get out of hand. Been more of a chess match than a checkers one between the two teams. Renegade finds a kill himself. Good damage coming out here from Trippy. Onto the players on the sandbags, but the damage is one thing. OpTic still want to push. Trippy doing an amazing job to get 1 kill in that situation, with 3 players from OpTic flying towards B.
So far the bait has actually worked. It's 2 dead. They do have the man advantage still, but Bound with his shields recharging here. In a momentary 1v3 or so at Green. We'll see what he can do. Nicely timed by FaZe yet again.
OpTic managed to convert for just a second. FaZe will take it back off of them.
Big work from Trippy there to stay alive the way he did. He was essentially in a 1v3 for about 20 seconds.
Formal just got 2. Formal might be getting a triple kill! And Formal, once again, creates the space for OpTic to jump back into B.
Enemy team score.
And start scoring again themselves. It is so tight, this game.
And how difficult is it with this OpTic Gaming roster? Feels like you do all the work you need. You take down every single member, but the last player alive time and time again is going to play spoils to whatever advantage you might have had. And Formal not done, still racking up even more kills as the AB hold will continue.
One thing to note here is nobody is really having like a crazy performance out on the OpTic side. It's actually Falcated, who's 18-9 on the FaZe side, who is having a big slaying performance from them. OpTic really have outslayed FaZe the majority of the time, but with the triple cap momentarily in effect, the scoring is what really matters for them. FaZe starting to pick up a couple of kills though. But a 157 and 132, FaZe gonna have to do more than they've been doing so far.
Nice drop from FaZe once again if they can close out B here, but with 2 falling, it's actually gonna be an OpTic B reset for a moment, and now 3 dead, 4 dead for FaZe. It's a devastating point in the game when OpTic already leads here by 30.
And I mentioned how there hasn't really been a triple cap. Well, now we have the triple cap. OpTic Gaming control A, B, and C, and keep your eyes on that score, because it is only gonna go one way. It is flying towards 200 points.
Lots to talk about what the Renegade just did, but to be honest, the game's moving too fast. We'll break it down afterwards. Another kill comes in. Now, in a 1v2, it's Renegade who has to stay alive top middle. Snipe popping now.
Smartly decides, as tempting as it was, to wait that extra seconds with no shields.
Enemy team.
He's gonna wrap around.
But instead, he's gonna go for the wrap. He gets spotted out. 1 bullet gives away his position. Legend is gonna collect that sniper rifle, I think, top middle for OpTic Gaming. Indeed he is, and OpTic are gonna make a play on the ends of the map here to try and take A! Legend again with a whip shot, bodies a second, sets him up! Trippy wins the fight though. How big could that be? 3 deid for OpTic.
A must win there for Trippy.
Gets the reset as well.
The reset on A and keeps them just at the 200 point mark. This kill would be big as well to keep the spawn staggered.
Oh! He does it! Big plays from Trippy, and FaZe will need more of those. Formal gonna challenge as well. It's a triple cap now for FaZe, but Legend with the pick should be able to get A control back for OpTic, but FaZe will keep scoring.
Trippy gonna just retreat with the snipe, hope he can get a pick, hope he can get the opening damage. B spawn's coming in, Bound's already up top mid, by the way.
Trippy with the no-scope. But OpTic really looking to play the other side of the map. They want to try and play for C here. So Presti's on the tower, trying to buy as much time as he can. Legend doing good damage, but elsewhere, look at FaZe. They're playing for A, for OpTic get the reset somehow. Trippy gets a kill with that sniper rifle. Legend with his camo is dancing around, trying to survive. Oh, Trippy gets the beat down, can't get through the QT, but at least keeps C momentarily in control. The kill's now getting picked up. FaZe will control B and C still.
2v2 on the map. That snipe was down back mud. I don't think it had too much ammo left. Look at B and C both being capped here, and now a lead change as FaZe will lead 204 to 200.
But the big moments in the series have been won the majority of the time by OpTic Gaming. This is one of those big moments. What happens in the next 30 seconds will decide which side will be celebrating on our main stage when this game is done. B has been flipped by OpTic, and now they have control of C as well. They will be the team scoring, but Falcated, with that stick, creates an opportunity for FaZe to move towards B.
OpTic Gaming scoring yet again. Now they will go
Big flank from Bound.
into a narrow lead. Here they come to green.
Falcated is flying in as a solo here at the back of green. Legend was no shields. Bound! Perfect shots from him. Trippy last alive. B will be defended. Trippy trying to do what he can. Stays on! Stays on the map and gets traded out here by Formal. Desperate times now for FaZe. They have to push B here.
Very good timing there from Formal. Knows he needed to go to green to get the last kill just in case Trippy got it. And he did now. Still holding AB, and they look to hold back green.
First pick though is Penguin. Oh! Up into the skies goes Formal. Legend there to join him. Penguin flies through though. 2 dead for OpTic Gaming. An opportunity maybe for FaZe to look to cap B here. But it's going to be Legend inside of B. In the pit. Who will slow down FaZe. Pick up the double, and elsewhere at C. They will convert it, and OpTic Gaming will close out game number 1.
And the OpTic fans in the room, very happy to see OpTic Gaming picking up exactly where they left off. And it was a well-fought game from the side of FaZe. You could say certainly one of their best games of the grand final so far, but that's largely due to the fact that OpTic Gaming has simply been dominating every game, and that game was really worth more than the sum of its parts. That game is going to give a lot of momentum to continue the OpTic Gaming run here in your second best of 7.
The big moments in big games. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't get bigger than a bracket reset in a grand final. And it's OpTic when the game is essentially tied up at around 2-10 apiece, whose next 30 seconds are better than FaZe's. And that is what gives them a chance to close that game out. FaZe putting up a fight, but OpTic showing that championship moments are going their way.
And I think for FaZe fans, lots to be proud of, lots to be happy about, but in the end, it's really our end game score that is all that's going to matter, and most importantly, it's another win in the OpTic Gaming category. Like you said, OpTic Gaming making it so difficult for every single FaZe push, and always making sure that they had the last member in to get the final trade or the last kill, just to make sure they're getting the resets. Worth noting, we saw FaZe tie the game up, get the lead actually at 204 to 200.
Yeah.
Once again, neck and neck with them till the late game, but OpTic Gaming is showing not just ice, but specifically late game ice that has been unmatched this weekend so far.
Take a look at some of the highlights here. Falcated got out to a really good start here for FaZe Clan. A couple of plays in and around A for OpTic. Again, the moments, it went their way. But I think the one thing that maybe FaZe will look back on this game was it took a little bit of time sometimes to think about what they wanted to do once they got a double cap. It felt like they were playing the safe option, play for the 2, look for the pick, instead of progressing up the map.
Big play from Renegade.
And looking for a triple cap themselves. But like you say, those kind of plays in and around A, that one from Renegade in particular, and a reset here from Bound, just those extra seconds, it makes the difference when you get towards the final score.
Really does. It's like they say, be like a pillar. Renegade took it literally.
Who says that?
And he, you know, be a pillar of this team, be a pillar of the community.
Okay.
Renegade was like, I will actually be a pillar, and I'm going to pretend that I
took it
am
literally.
part of this piece of stone. And it worked out very well for him. Trippy was an important 1v1 there, but it felt like that was the story. FaZe kept winning key 1v1 to just stay alive, but not enough in the end. I'm glad you like that one.
Yeah. First man to take be a pillar, literally. Anyway, Slayer Origin is our game number 2.
Big brain Halo there.
And I'm going to keep harping on about FaZe's record in Slayers. It wasn't great in the first series, but there wasn't much to talk about in the first series apart from the performance here on Origin. It was CTF that time around.
Yeah.
It was a 3-0 victory. And we are back on the same map, but this time it's much more simple for both teams. 50 kills, or whoever has the most after time, we've learned that this weekend, will be the winner.
Let's not forget the last 6 minutes of the game in favor of FaZe was dominant on this map. We'll see if they can do it again here in Slayer.
Penguin, low shields, manages to get one though. Renegade picks up the rockets here for OpTic Gaming. 3-2, make it 3-3, but Renegade with his rockets has got to decide if he's going to play this one slowly or be aggressive. So Press is going to bait one out here on the cave.
I
Renegade trying to find some angles. We'll get the clean up here onto Falcate, and it's 2 dead here for FaZe. 5-3 the score for OpTic.
Goes for the airstrike there. When you have that height and you're looking down to BR and Fountain, it's pretty easy to pick up one. That's exactly what he does. Legend also just bodying anything that moves at minimum. That will give them now just a narrow 7-5 lead.
Trippy managed to sneak through the maze there and find 1 kill himself, but Legend will be in a position to surely clean this one up. Falcate down to no shields and plenty of sniper rifle ammo, excuse me, to work with still here for the Frenchman. But he doesn't need to use it at the moment because FaZe are falling all around him. It's a 4-kill advantage here for OpTic. And now that they're all respawning together, Legend has a chance to really put pressure on these spawners.
Yeah, already such a great start for OpTic Gaming. Textbook, really. Rocket control, now the top cat snipe control, almost the fadeaway. Oof. Like I said, though, he generally doesn't miss twice. Hits the body on the second player now as the kills are traded out.
4-1 off the rip here for Legend. Just the 1 death. But he's going to get flanked here. That Commando peppering away at him. Needs some help from Formal, who responds accordingly. Try and trade this kill out. Falcated will survive a few seconds longer than he needs to, but Formal will finally not only get the kill, but recycle the sniper back to himself. And OpTic Gaming, a killing spree here for Formal. That's 5 without response.
Thought Suppressed might be top rocks. Now he knows they're trenched. Look at the awareness there from Formal. Knew exactly where they had to be if they weren't top rocks, and then even lives to tell the tale and relay the info as he so often does.
Great reticle placement from him as well. That one's even better. Penguin challenges bottom middle, gets bodied as well. Formal continuing to output maximum damage every time on his POV.
Putting on a show here. It's another OpTic chant, now a green wall chant. And you've got a potent combo here for OpTic Gaming. Not only are they playing the way they have been all Championship Sunday, but you've got the hometown Dallas crowd. You've got all the green wall Halo fans, and as Lottie mentioned, all of the Call of Duty fans of OpTic also now crowding in standing room only. A lot of support for this OpTic Gaming team here as 3 fall for FaZe Clan yet again.
The power weapons have been controlled completely and utterly by OpTic as well. As I say that, Penguin will pick up 1 rocket that was used by an OpTic member and have a chance to at least find himself an easy fight. 23-15 isn't a score that's out of control here though for FaZe, as silly as it sounds. Origin, one of those maps where you can start to put big runs together, but with 3 dead, FaZe have got to do a little bit better than they are at the moment. OpTic continuing to extend this lead as the snipe pops again.
Formal, the man on your screen, he's already 9-3 in this game as they lead 26-18. Let's get into a listen in now with OpTic Gaming.
Third BR, blue BR, blue BR, blue BR, blue BR, blue BR, blue BR, let's go. He's one shot blue basement actually. He's 1 shot blue basement on the left pillar. Blue basement, left side bound. He's still there. Still there bound, don't you go.
Okay, right up, red flag, red window, man, red window.
No.
You're two red, guys.
Yo, 1 shot red window, Falcated going, sitting on the, he's on the window. He's sitting on the window still. And John Blue BR onto you, John Blue BR, John Blue BR. He's flanking maze already.
Nice, just shit, Sabri.
Red window foul, what's on you, John? What's on you?
Yeah, blue sniper, and 2 snipes. Nice, 2 snipes every, 2 snipes every.
Red oven, which snipe? Yes, snipe red oven.
Are we gonna slow this down a little bit?
Yes, snipe red oven.
Show me. Top snipe, also.
Blue maze.
Red oven, watch out. Red oven,
watch out, blue silver, press. Blue maze, trippy weak. Blue maze, trippy weak.
Yeah, Butter guy's sniping weak.
Watch it.
Another impressive run from Legend. While we were in the listening, you can hear the OpTic. The other players were very appreciative of what they were seeing from his POV.
Yeah, I mean, how so easy to get gassed up on this team when you're looking over and you're seeing just players pull off unbelievable clips time and time again. Also love what we heard from Lunchbox there, even though they were leading about 32-24 or so. You still hear Lunchbox saying, let's slow it down right now. Even though they probably could have gotten away with just holding down the gas pedal, making sure that they're making all the right plays here, despite the large lead now by 10.
14-6 for Formal. Just patrolling around the map at the moment, picking up kill after kill, off the damage from his teammates and immediately putting pressure onto spawners. Poor old Penguin gets his feathers ruffled as he comes off of the respawn. Renegade and Bound are going to find 2 now, and Formal looking to move in. Collapse onto these last 2 remaining members of FaZe is 41-30. OpTic look primed to be 2 up in this series.
Finally gets pinned down from the other side, but at least 2 of those do get cleaned up. So now it's still a 12-kill lead, 43-31. Rocks popping up right now. Legend 14-7 as well. Make that 15. Adds another one to the tally. It's a battle between Formal and Legend at the moment to see who finishes this game with most kills. If you're an OpTic fan, it's a good battle to watch. Rockets are up. 4 kills to go now.
for OpTic Gaming to put themselves within 2 of becoming champs.
Nades coming in. Renegade gonna try to fight from the elbow and somehow does. Shields are coming back, so he might be down to fight even more here. Finally gets pinched into 2v1. However, just 3 kills to go for OpTic Gaming.
16 and 8 for the man on your screen, the Frenchman, having a huge impact on a grand final once again. Make it 17, 1 to go for OpTic. Trippy will challenge, he will get the kill, but it's Formal who closes out the Slayer. And the bricks are starting to stack up here for the green wall. They get closer and closer as they go up 2-0 in our bracket reset.
We talked a lot about how the first grand final felt an awful lot like Arlington's first grand final. We can now say officially that the second grand final does not feel like Arlington. What was a very back and forth, evenly matched game between Shopify and OpTic just a few weeks ago in grand final number 2. It's a very different series layout than what we are seeing so far, as OpTic Gaming will take their second game of the grand final, their 6th overall, and now only be 2 games away from taking home an early championship on Championship Sunday.
50-39 the final score. Valkated, the only player to go positive on the side of FaZe Clan. On the other side, it was Formal and Legend who were in a race, it felt like, to see who could get the most kills. 17 and 9 coming in from Legend. And how many times have we talked about Legend having big Slayer game performances in really critical times of series? Another example of it here.
We're also seeing, I think, Legend time and time again, by the way, Formal, of course, 16 and 10. Not too shabby for him either. We're seeing Legend time and time again playing even more clinical Halo. With every time we're on his POV, he's not making mistakes. And beyond that, like we saw throughout the series so far, he is squeaking out extra damage, if not extra kills or 2, that he should not be, especially up against the team in the grand finals.
This little run from Formal was a joy to watch as well.
Yeah.
Unless you're a player on the receiving end of that kind of shot that causes your Spartan to do the backflip that you don't want to be on the receiving end of. But he was just doing such a good job of just finding routes to clean up damage Formal in this little run. You can see everyone he's looking at is weak, suppressed, weak, moves in. Teammate already cleans that one up. Falcated moving towards him. He's already taken some damage. That's an indication of how well the unit is working here, which makes Formal's job so easy.
Perfectly timed here. Legend just waits for all the damage. Gets the call out. Oh, this as well, right? To not trade and just stay alive, just sit here in cave. I mean, it's plays like this that really sum it up. Because guess what? It's Formal who flies in. Easily get the last trade against Trippy and close it out. As you said, 17 and 16 kills respectively for the 2 men on the end of the stage. And OpTic Gaming will take a 2-0 series lead, overall leading 6 games to 1 so far.
2 to go here for OpTic to call themselves champions, to go back-to-back. And you got to wonder if FaZe have got something left in the tank here.
Exactly.
Because this, like you say, 6-1 overall at the moment. And some of those games haven't been close.
They have not been. And it feels like FaZe needs something similar to Game 4 of Series 1 to get back in here, get some sort of mental edge, or at least an ounce of confidence to get back into these games, because despite being neck and neck at different points in these games, the end game has been very clear for OpTic Gaming. Next up is going to be CTF Aquarius.
Game type that everybody knows and loves. One of the most iconic ones in Halo Infinite, but also probably the closest to the iconic game type that we have in the Halo history books. Yeah, classic arena map. CTF, get it back to your base, first to 5 caps. Almost caps after time, will win that one. I think maybe one good thing here for FaZe is there's not power weapons to worry about in this situation. It's all about the bandits.
Also, interestingly, because we can look ahead to a guaranteed game number 4 minimum, that is King of the Hill Solitude. And we already saw Legend and OpTic Gaming put on a show in that game type, slowly picking apart their opponents. And that's the man on your screen. We've been talking about his discipline, his approach. And it's hard to think of another player. There's a very, very few. You think of the Snipe Downs of the world. And honestly, not many other names on that list who have ascended the ranks the way that this man has.
Continues to write his own history at the moment. And he's doing it under the banner of OpTic Gaming as well. Really has been
little smile there. Tiny bit of a smile.
Even Legend smiling at this point. Someone said something to make him laugh. I mean, my favorite thing about OpTic Gaming as well is we go back to the Space Station days where Legend joins, and he was just known as Legend in the player comms.
Yeah.
But now they're saying Sabri.
Yeah, it's a great point.
It's good
great
friends
point.
now.
Yeah, it's a really great
Broken
point.
through.
It used to be bounce
One of
comms,
us.
bounce comms where Legend do this, Legend do that. And now instead it's just holy expletive. Nice, Sabri. Nice work. As he picks up another snipe kill.
Like the idea that he finally went into Bound's room and went, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, my name.
Sabri, good to meet you. He's been there for 4 months.
Here we go then.
So Preston Trippy on your screen. They're going to need big performances from both of these players here, FaZe, if they want to keep this series going. 1.32 on the side of Suppress, 1.39 on the side of Trippy. Remember, the CTF was the one game that FaZe managed to take in that first series. They're going to need it now. Otherwise, the road looks too treacherous for them to come back.
And FaZe is also going to need to shake off what happened in Aquarius last time these two teams met, because y'all remember it was a blender of industrial strength that they found themselves in. First 2 kills and a camo right away, going to OpTic Gaming off of the opening.
A lot of control of this power-up has been all OpTics. It's that team fight beforehand that really does decide which way this goes. Falke here trying to get that kill on Will, so the camo will be taken down straight away. That's stage 1 of getting a little bit of map control complete here for FaZe.
2 dead here for OpTic, though, for an opportunity for FaZe to get some aggression. 3 dead now.
Trippy's running that flag. And Val, he's trying to watch for these overextenders on the respawn as well. And I tell you what, this could be a hot start coming in for FaZe. They need to take a second here as Penguin has fallen. You can't let this moment slip though if you're FaZe. Val's going to try and jump on this return. Trippy makes the right plays, gets the touch, but Legend, who else but Legend? Gets the double kill, gets another.
4 dead. This should
But
be
it's going to be everybody in the death screen, and FaZe do not let that opportunity slip. They will put the first flag in.
Nicely done. It's a really good bait and switch. They're also just, as you said, the timing there on the util. It got nervy for a second, without a doubt, but being able to isolate that kill, and how about Trippy going into the util corner to get the back whack on Renegade? Without that play, that flag goes straight back to the OpTic base. As you said, it's FaZe Clan who leads 1-0 off the opening.
3 dead here for FaZe though. OpTic looking a little bit pissed off of how that first few moments went. They haven't bled too many times in this series, and the immediate hot start is being responded to by this run coming in from Renegade. Bound picks up a kill in the feed. Suppress is going to have to watch this flag be run from the death screen. Renegade knows that things are a little bit too quiet there. Turns around, does a little bit of damage, but Penguin will cut down the run.
Interesting angle. Penguin gets to car 1 because he knew he had to take the car 1 angle. I like the play from Renegade, but Penguin, was wise to it. 3 dead here for FaZe Clan.
Going to be able to get this return pretty comfortably. Nobody off the respawn yet to challenge it. As the camo comes up as well. Legend's in a really sneaky position, actually. The damage came in from Formal just to cut that player down. Well, it will be collected here by FaZe. Yes, it will. Suppressed will get that camo.
And now with the camo play and a 1 flag lead, let's get into an early listening here with FaZe Clan.
You guys go on our street.
I don't see anything. Yo, one's car 1. One's car 1 to our gen. He's a combo our gen. Combo our gen.
Okay, that's him.
He's one was our gen. Nice did. Hit him with that. Weak.
What's our gen? Dude, 2 there.
Okay, two.
Low gen. Nice, that's green gun
Getting
down
out
there.
there,
Car
big
1, our low gen now. He's going for that green gun. Going back to car. Come back to you.
Our connector.
Coming, car 2.
Watch out, blue connector.
Nice,
blue connector,
Mike.
going blue gen. Mike Chow, you call
Here, I'm behind him.
Look, car 1.
I'm behind these guys.
Still blue gen, guys.
Yo, pump base. Watch out, car gen.
You guys talking, Joy?
Yo, low, watch out, car 1 on me.
They're Peter in. I'm coming.
Watch out, their gen. Absolute their gen. Right, nice.
Yeah,
I'm very good too.
I'll be
sure. I'm rich.
Maybe 2 here.
I'm in. 2 dead. I want to go
Shoot dead.
He's like back flag or something. 2 there, back flag. I hear that.
Got 1.
They're first half.
2 shot, there's flag. 2 shot,
Donnie.
2 shot on the VR. He's top shrooms. Dead.
Nice.
3 I'm trying to look.
3 dead.
Where?
I don't see Gen.
Where?
Slip.
P1 right now. Watch out, Gen. P1. Weak Gen. Legend. One shot, Gen. Absolute Gen still. One was our P1, guys.
You guys are brick.
I died. Hear that? Going car 3,
Shoot out brick.
Okay, going car 3. Car 3 after that. Car 3, Mike. Car 3.
Let's go, Mike.
Car 3, Mike. Car 3 still. One was looking car 2.
Nice,
Car 3.
Mike.
Watch out, car 3. Watch out, car 3.
20.
That's guy, car 2 or something.
FaZe sounded pretty cool and calm and collected about things, and even though they got that flag all the way back and a triple kill from Falcated, OpTic will get the return on it. It still stands at 1-0 here.
Yeah, huge return there. You thought for a second they were going to keep that flag alive. They're not able to do it. However, as you said, we heard Royal One talking about it yesterday. It's amazing to hear the calmness and the clarity in those comms. For a lot of people, it might have sounded too quiet, but this is how FaZe likes to play. We'll see if they can maintain this lead. However, it's not going to be easy with 2 dead and Renegade now pushing with the camo.
10 and 7 at the moment for Renegade in this game. On the other side is Falcate leading the way for kills, 10 and 6 for him. We're on the POV to watch him collect quite a few of those in the last few moments as well. But Renegade just looking to spot out some FaZe Clan members at the moment who are just toed up in and around that fridge. You want to try and play for a trade on this camo. And that's the thing that Renegade doesn't want to do. Doesn't get the beat down, gets one. But that's the trade that FaZe wanted in that situation.
Gets a good camo trade there to stack 2 players' fridge. And OpTic kind of forced into that play, and Renegade was trying to find any easy pickings, but they were hard to come by. Even though FaZe loses another member, they're going to have to fight out of their base again.
Almost got a flank here as well. Checks his corners. Runs it into a FaZe wall. 3 players inside of the base. Respawn's going to reinforce the players as well at the back of the base. So FaZe, with 2 dead now for OpTic, will be able to step out.
It's a good double team there, and there's a few things to talk about. Firstly, I think OpTic was a little impatient compared to the other times that we've seen them play Aquarius. 7 minutes left on the clock, still a lot to play with, but I think also worth noting that FaZe did really well to time the entry on the pink door immediately. They make sure to 2v1 it without wasting any time. They were much more isolated in their pushes when we saw them play Aqua last time. However, after those exchanges, it was 3 dead for FaZe Clan.
1v1 on the map momentarily there. Both players on opposite sides of the map. FaZe still with this 1 flag advantage. Now trying to hunt down a couple of overextenders. One of the big Falcate, and he will confirm that kill, and now takes the 1v1, which will be traded out. 2 dead on either side of the stage at the moment. Formal looking to push it into the FaZe base, though. He'll find Trippy, he'll get the kill, and he's got some support here to think about a flag run.
Good pre-nades as well. That's going to lock off bridge. Flag doesn't quite go out just yet, and to be honest, loses just a little bit of time with that flag not going off the stand, and it's 2 dead for OpTic as a result.
The respawners just came in on the fridge there that made that a little bit of an awkward decision about where to run that for Form. I think initially he wanted to try and run it down the middle and spawn them in and around each other in that gen, but the split spawns came in. LOS was too easy for FaZe to just cut down that run. Form and Renegade will pick up a couple more, and another camo goes to OpTic here. How many times can FaZe let this slip through their fingers?
Yeah, FaZe has done so well in CTF so far and across these series. Continued, as you said, camo control coming in now. 2 were dead. The flag is already running here, but suppresses top mid. Very important role.
But Legend got around the corner. And now you're going to see Bound with his camo and Suppress last alive. He's top middle. He's taking damage from Bound. Bound will clean the kill up. 4 dead. Here for FaZe Clan. Respawn is trying to do what they can, but it will be OpTic. He'll tie the game up. 1-1 now. But they got to avoid this counter cap as FaZe pick up a couple of kills themselves.
Nicely done there for Legend. He does not wait his shield for his shields to recharge. Renegade last player alive here for OpTic, and now FaZe will continue with the aggression.
5 minutes remaining.
Just under 5 minutes left in this game. Bound wins his 1v1 versus Penguin. And now Bound is taking his turn to be the kill leader for OpTic Gaming. He's 14 and 9 in this game. Takes the 1v1 with Trippy. A little bit of a jiggle around that wall. He's so elusive.
Man, look at this.
They just cannot deal with him. They cannot finish him off. 2 dead. OpTic have info on where the last 2 players are. The flag is running as well. Legend finds 2. OpTic will run this one in as well. They're going to turn this game around. It's 2-1 to OpTic.
And Mark, you called it. It was a little bit too close for comfort the entire time that FaZe was up by that 1 flag. It's going to be a staggered 3 dead for the side of FaZe, and OpTic will continue with the pressure. They back-to-back cap, despite trailing for about 5.5 minutes of play.
Valkyrie gets taken down as well. Formal has an opening, and he doesn't need to be asked twice. Picks up the double kill immediately. G slices flag across the map. Penguin trying to overextend at the moment, but Formal's hitting slide after slide. And I think he might have the timing here on Penguin. Doesn't even need it. Legends picked up the kill, and it's 3-1 now. OpTic essentially go back to back with their caps.
And it does not feel like very long ago when we were mentioning that it was not a comfortable enough lead, with OpTic just knocking on the door and continued camo control. The 4th camo in a row. Still 3 dead for FaZe. 3-1 game. OpTic Gaming. What a comeback in this one.
Renegade on the flank now, 18 and 12 for him, leading the assist as well. And he's like, hey, you know what?
This looks safe.
I trust my teammates to pick up the kills on the way back. The pink side of the map looks pretty open.
I'll leave this here for now.
Let's get this flag moving.
Love this from Renegade. Like you said, it's an unorthodox run, but he identified the gaps in the setup. However, both flags are away.
Goes on a killing spree. FaZe are trying to counter-cap this. Renegade's just trying to stay alive at the moment. Legend will find one in the feed. It's 3 dead for FaZe. That flag is still away.
I'll pull it again. Not to worry.
Now with the opening and FaZe still 2 dead. Renegade said, first time it didn't work. This time we'll try a little bit more of a traditional route.
He's like, actually, I'm going to leave that flag there. If you can send your flag back, I can run this one a lot easier. And here he comes. Both flags still away.
Brings it into the back of the base, but a little bit of a flag standoff here as 2v2 is where we find ourselves on the map. Renegade now actually last alive. FaZe do a great job of winning the fight on that pink side to give themselves a chance at getting this flag home. However, time is a problem here now for FaZe. 2 minutes 20 left on the clock. The longer this standoff goes on,
OpTic loves this standoff.
the closer OpTic are to winning. Renegade
wait and bait. It's a tricky corner, but does get spotted out by Foul. Foul gets that for free with minimal damage taken. Actually, no damage taken, so he's going to continue pushing up the map. He wants the standoff to end immediately.
Yeah, they need to go fast though. They need to get up onto the OpTic base before Renegade respawns. Give themselves the numbers advantage. Trippy finds one. Found's going to go down as well. It's going to be 2 dead. Last player alive is Legend in the back of the base. He will fall as well. Double kill here for Falcate, and the return will come in. And FaZe have that flag back at their base. Now, if they cap this one in the next few seconds, there's a chance for a double cap.
Enemy captured your flag.
They will put that one home to make it a 1-flag game. And Falcate was still alive. Finally, Renegade will take him down. That's such an important kill for OpTic, just to stabilize it.
Very important kill, going to buy them just a little bit of time to push out of their own base. Most importantly, there's only 120 left in the game, so even though FaZe makes sure to end that flag standoff almost immediately, they need to do it again. They've only got 70 seconds or so to tie up the game and send us to overtime.
Kills like that from Renegade are going to make things even more difficult. OpTic will continue to push up the map as well. They know they don't want to play this too defensively and let FaZe take map control without being challenged.
Remaining.
And by picking up these kills, and by clearing this space, we are getting closer and closer to an OpTic Gaming win.
Essentially a 4 dead there that's staggered. We have Penguin already and Suppress as spawners, but now with only 45 seconds left, FaZe really has just one last push at most to get a flag off the stand and keep it alive.
FaZe have got to go, they've got to go now, but they got 4 more up in your gen. Look how aggressive they're being here, OpTic Gaming. There is an overextension coming in from Suppressed on the pink side. And Trippy with that big win.
3 dead, 3
and
dead.
Penguin with that kill.
Oh my.
There is an opening here for FaZe to run this flag. Suppress was the overextender and immediately starts moving this.
Wow, what an about face. He was about to hit a bottom mid run. Instead, he gets the call to get a gen run, and they're making it work here. However, Trippy does fall.
Trippy will fall. And they have to be careful that they get kills on the respawn here. It's not comfortable for Suppress. He knows that kills haven't been picked up. He will have to fight to secure this flag. Renegade's still the overextender. Falcate gets another one. Penguin with the 1. There's 2 more players from OpTic inside of the base. Suppress needs to get these kills. He finds 1. He'll get 2. Trippy puts it in just in the last second. And we will go into overtime.
We said they had 1 push, and that is all they had. They make it count. And how about the overextension from Suppressed? To be in the right place at the right time as they get 3 dead. And how about the play call? He was about to fly G-slide bottom mid with the flag. Instead, he hits a hard left turn into Gen. And the Gen run not only works, but they perfectly time the wait and the bait. They isolate Formal top middle. They get that kill. And even though they had to fight a difficult 2v2 in the back of the base against Legend and Renegade, they get the cap. However, it has only bought them overtime.
Overtime, next flag wins. Formal's got a camo, and I was about to say, I was a bit worried for FaZe, having done the hard work, that they might be able to see the game slip away, because the flag was moving, but Foul will make sure he secures that flag. Back at the base, both flags now.
Uh-oh.
So we have a reset on the map.
Formal was just picking them apart. Luckily, Falcate gets back to Shrooms to help Trippy and Penguin. In the end, he's taken down, however, so it's a 4v2 on the push. Oh,
big nade from Penguin, but look at the push still coming in from OpTic. Threat sensor goes down. They know the flag is clear. They know everyone's trapped on the P side.
Ooh.
FaZe do a really good job here. Really good job to trade that damage, get
FaZe
those kills.
They go for the mosh pit strategy. Just send bodies in there and start punching. And in the end, it works. They clear out their own base and allow themselves to now push out. 3 minutes 40 left in our overtime period. Of course, if we're still scoreless, we will go to another second sudden death overtime.
3 dead on the side of OpTic. One more going to be last alive. Falcate trying to pressure Falcate in a big win, but the spawns from Renegade has come in. Falcate will get the trade as well. It's 3 dead for OpTic. Spawns do come in on the back flag though. Penguin's going to have to fight again.
We have to mention here, 3 will fall for OpTic Gaming, as we now have our biggest crowd of the weekend, unsurprisingly, for the grand finals. This is now officially in sudden death. Next flag will win the game.
OpTic a little bit trapped at the moment. Camo coming up as well. And you can see that they're a little bit worried here, OpTic, about that green gun as well. That's why Trippy connects. But Bound and Formal combine to take him down. Now there's an exit strategy, especially when Legend starts perfecting people. 5 perfect shots to win his fight against Suppressed.
They get 2 dead fighting from the back of their base, but this is big. A huge, huge amount of responsibility on Falcated's shoulders with the camo, 2 dead. And this series is gonna go one of 2 ways after this game.
Penguin's there. Penguin gets the kill, it's 3 dead for OpTic Gaming. Penguin with the start step might have actually kept him alive as the grenade will go slightly ahead of where he was planning that run. And we're in a similar situation to what we were a few moments ago. At the last seconds of the game, FaZe tie it up. They've got 1 kill onto Renegade. They've got 2 kills now as Bound will fall as well. Formal will slow the flag down, but it's still 2 dead for OpTic.
3v2 right here. Legend alive in the back of the base.
Formal gets 2. FaZe are gonna have to come off the respawn, and now they're pinched. OpTic want a counter cap. Renegade gets 1. Formal gets 1. The counter cap pieces are starting to fall together. It's 3 dead. It's 4 dead. It's 4 dead. FaZe will fall. OpTic will counter cap. And OpTic will go up 3-0 in our grand finals. 1 more game for the Green Wall. And they will be your HCS Open champions.
It has been all about the late game for OpTic Gaming, and how many times have we seen them through this elimination bracket in a game 5? Tied up at the end of a game, in an overtime. They have a different level of ice, it appears, and it shows once again. That flag all the way back to Util and FaZe with a 3v2 scenario. But this time it was Formal and Legend in the back of the base, and guess what? Renegade was off spawn, and he was a flying car 1 to pinch in Util. It's a clean 4 dead, and as you called, the flag was already way off the stand.
Big moments won by OpTic once again. A lot of teams would have folded in that situation. Especially after that last second regulation time tying cap from FaZe Clan. FaZe had everything they needed to win that game in that final moment in overtime. But OpTic find a way. Take a look at some of these highlights, Andy.
He was trippy. Gets that nice back whack on Renegade. That was really what paved the way for, as we said, that first flag to come in. And despite the fact that we saw it 1-0 in favor of FaZe, it was not long before OpTic got not 1, not 2, but 3 flags on the board.
And even though it was essentially back to back to back, FaZe didn't give up. FaZe showed some heart. FaZe showed that they still want to try and compete in this grand finals. This play from Falcate is so impressive as well. Just bides his time, Bound flies forward. That's 2 dead for OpTic. And this is what starts the run for them. 3 dead. As the flag return came in from that flag standoff, but this was the play, the staggered run that came in from FaZe. Suppressed with some big damage, having started that run. Trippy with the cap. But
Here
this
it is.
is the
Look
moment.
at this.
This is the moment.
4v2 it was before Penguin dies. So in a 2v4, OpTic not only gets the stop and the pull, they also get the return and the run. And this is what we mean when we say backs against the wall. It was not just something where they got an easy 3 dead and pulled the flag. It was instead fighting from enormous disadvantage to win very key team fights in the back of the base. And now, once again, put another game on the board, undefeated in your grand final reset so far. And each of these games have been neck and neck at 200 or at 40 or at 3-3, but they've only gone one way.
Trippy taking the opportunity to have a few Cheez-Its.
Surprising time for it, but hey.
It's never a bad time.
When hunger strikes, it strikes.
Here we go then. OpTic Gaming, 1 game away.
Gotta watch out for the Cheeto dust. That's the biggest factor.
Yeah, but that's where the power is here for FaZe. 1 game to go for OpTic Gaming to become your champions, to reset the bracket for the 2nd time this season. King of the Hill is where we find ourselves when it comes to game types. Solitude going to be the map. Do FaZe have something in store in what has been one of the most unpredictable tournaments up until today we've had in quite some time.
Yeah, and now a one-sided championship Sunday without a doubt. And now that OpTic is only one game away from closing out the grand finals, you start to think, if OpTic takes this tournament in this fashion, the story of the tournament changes. If someone asks about DreamHack 2025, the story will simply be OpTic won again. All of the chaos of the weekend is forgotten. Can FaZe send us the distance in the series? That's the question here. Only one more game to go for OpTic.
3 dead for OpTic off the rip here. Pressure from Suppressed as well onto the final player. Nobody stepping in that hill as yet, as FaZe will finally dip their toes in. Suppressed still chasing down this final kill of Bound. Bound still alive, frustratingly. Trippy finds 2 himself though, so Trippy will actually turn 3, so that's 3 quick consecutive kills for the man in the screen who earns the POV.
You caught OpTic's game earlier on this game type. It was an interesting one for a number of reasons. First of all, it was a masterclass from Legend in how to play this game type slowly and methodically. More importantly, though, it was a very low-scoring game. You'll remember we only had about 2 minutes left on the game clock as 3 fall, 4 fall for OpTic Gaming. Renegade is your first spawner. It's going to be a loop spawn. Here they come on the press.
Renegade going to be challenging Trippy here. Back-to-back 4 deads momentarily for OpTic Gaming.
2 players yet to get a kill as well.
Almost half that hill has now been capped by FaZe. But OpTic making this a little bit scrappy. 2v2 right now, and inside of the hill is going to be Formal, who actually finds a double kill. From bottom middle, Renegade coming in to give him a little bit of support, and will do so. That's 3 dead for FaZe. And OpTic, for all the good work and slaying that FaZe have done early on, are inside that bottom middle hill, and have 2 FaZe members dead as they go into a lead.
And you, just like you said, somehow with 2 dead, Formal pulls off a double kill off screen. And Legend's not done yet, and now OpTic takes the lead on the first hill.
Ammo picked up here by OpTic as well. It's going to be Formal who grabs that power up. Not for the first time. I feel like I've said that sentence in this series. 3 dead again for FaZe. Penguin with no shields. Easy pickings here for Renegade.
Still 3 dead. 2 players spawning here on loop. Renegade knows it. He's just going to do enough damage and probably scurry away and let the team watch the angles. It is once again textbook as OpTic closes out the first hill momentarily. The first one likely going on the board here.
They flush him out momentarily, but FaZe are 2 dead. Legend's going to step inside that hill bottom middle. Formal finds the double. FaZe have to watch the point go in from the respawn screen as well, because all 4 members of FaZe fall at exactly the same time. It's 1-0 to OpTic. They win the rotate, and they're just looking like they're marching to victory now.
Yeah, and the wait and bait even pays off in more ways than one, right? Not only do they get a few extra kills, they get the rotate, as you said, as well. And now already scoring 25% of the way done on the second hill. And Renegade is still being an absolute nuisance at 7 and 5.
3 dead for OpTic, 4 dead. Potentially if Bound is taken down here by Trippy. So something here for FaZe. They do manage to break the setup. Penguin in the 1v1, top middle, Formal wins it, a double kill again. Just when you feel like FaZe are getting something going in this game, someone like Formal steps up. I mean, you can pick your name on this OpTic Gaming roster for who it is.
Jeez, look at this.
But there's always someone who just evens the numbers with a huge play.
Above the comms there, he knew exactly where he was behind the palm tree. Able to pick up 1, but now going to be a tall order. Lots of damage regardless, though. 2v2 on the map.
FaZe still inside of that hill. Legend trying to move in on some damage. Nope's out of there. I think we'll pick him off, though. FaZe still in control of this hill.
Good progress once again from FaZe, but still work to do. With 2 dead, though, and Camo popping, this is a big opportunity for them to not only get this hill, but really find a way back into the game and the series, if you're a FaZe fan.
Camo popping up as well. Trippy no shields inside of the hill, but so is Legend. Legend wins it, but gets traded out immediately by Falcated. 3 dead on the side of OpTic Gaming. FaZe will secure this yard hill. We are tied up at 1-1. Camo's still up.
Yeah. That's the question. Camo's still up here. Formal's actually going to hold posters for a second, but eventually enough time had elapsed, unsurprisingly, that the damage had come in. Another free kill, so 2 dead. And there should be a late camo grab coming in momentarily.
Oh, it's a triple for Falcated, though. And Trippy will get the camo off the back of it.
Needs to be careful here.
Enemy team took the hill.
Regardless, a very big hill and a very big camo grab. FaZe Clan is right back in this one.
Ball and OpTic a trap, though. Look at the damage. FaZe trying to move in through the blue area here of the map to try and flush these players from OpTic out, who have now rotated just to try and survive towards the yard. Renegade has no idea that Trippy's here. Easy pickings for him. Bounce top into a double kill for Trippy. Formal is on the truck. Breaks some shields, but it's going to be Falcane who breaks his heart there. It's going to be 2v2 on the map. FaZe still with control.
Worth noting, that's the first time Formal was in a 1v2 as the last player alive and didn't win it in this game. That's the kind of danger that he's been posing to this FaZe clan team. Val doing everything he can to stay alive. FaZe looking good in the third hill as well.
To get picked off though. Bound looking to deal with Trippy. Last player alive is going to be suppressed now as Renegade would deal with Trippy. Bound can take a second here just to get his shields back before moving in.
Look at the play from Suppressed. It's taken down though in the end.
Pulse wasn't enough in that situation. OpTic still can't get near this hill though. Finally they do step into it.
If that hits a little bit differently and those two players get sent bottom mid and Suppressed stays alive and spawns teammates blue, that could have been very different. One dead for each side now.
Beautiful grenade there from Bound.
Bowls it in.
Shock rifle coming up as well. And the camo picked up by OpTic again.
Burned. 2 dead for both sides here. Shock is up. You can already tell Legend trying to keep an eye on that. It will be FaZe and will have the advantage in terms of the option to grab. They will. We'll see what they could do here. Just all tied up here on the third hill. So much riding on where this hill goes because the game clock is at 1:30.
Falcane has a little flank around the side here. You can see that OpTic were trying to keep control of blue. They wanted those spawns, but they've given a lot of the map up here to the rest of FaZe. Falcane finds that kill. 3 dead here for OpTic Gaming. Renegade gonna challenge. But nobody's still able to get close enough to that hill. It's a real battle at the moment just to get enough control to be able to step into it safely.
And just like the last time we saw OpTic play this game, it's going to go down to time. It's 1-1 here, still tied up with exact progress marks essentially, and only 60 seconds left on the clock. These next few kills will determine where the game goes.
Okay, and the patience pays off. It's 4 dead for OpTic. Finally, FaZe can make their way towards that hill and step inside of it. One more push here for OpTic. And Falcane lines up Bound. And that could be a game-winning shot from him.
Trying to stay alive here on S4 if he's able to. They might be able to close it out. They need more kills, however, still 2 dead. They might be able to close it out here.
Doubling up on this hill. Legend's trying to fly through the hotel. Penguin does die inside of that hill. Renegade finds one. Bound finds another. Bound finds 2. Falcane's on his own. OpTic with a huge, brilliant last-second push to break the hill.
Once again, it's Legend behind enemy line. Somehow stays alive in hotel while the rest of the team causes chaos around dip and driveway. And OpTic Gaming might steal this right here and right now.
40 seconds left on the game clock. OpTic have control of the map. FaZe felt like they were destined for a win here, but Instasplode coming in. Legend picking up a perfect as well elsewhere means that OpTic still have control of this hill. OpTic can't get it done quite yet, but are now moments away.
With 3 dead, Renegade here and Formal going to work together. All they need is one more tick, and they're okay with time ticking down here. They can wait, and they can get this hill even late. Formal's going to go with camo.
Formal's going to move in. He's playing it patient. He's waiting for the camo to come back. He steps in, secures the hill, and Formal might have secured another championship here for OpTic Gaming.
Could very well be the game-winning hill and the tournament-winning hill. 14 seconds left. FaZe Clan needs to start controlling right now. It's 2 dead for OpTic. It's still possible.
FaZe are inside of the hill, so the clock will stop. But one break, one push from OpTic.
Not even.
And this will be their championship. Penguin and Trippy trying to do what they can. Formal challenging everybody in front of them. He knows it's done. He gets another kill. And OpTic Gaming will be your champions.
And you see it there from the green wall as they rush the stage. Back to back for OpTic Gaming in one of the wildest tournament brackets we've seen in Halo Championship Series history. The end result is the same. It's a new adversary, but it's the same champion. OpTic Gaming will go back to back.
DreamHack, give it up to your champions who have fought their way through the elimination bracket once again. Your champions, OpTic Gaming.
And what a way to do it, even though it's another win in a second best of 7. It is a completely different set of game types. OpTic Gaming looking so dominant, and it is once again the same story that despite a closely fought and well-contested battle down to the end game, it's OpTic Gaming that finds a way to squeak out a win in the final moments.
Unbelievable things from OpTic Gaming. Yet again, another weekend, another tremendous journey through the elimination bracket, doing the absolute unthinkable. Elimination round 1, folks. They built their way up, having to take down so many different titans on their path. You really cannot put it against them in Formal. You can tell how much this one also means to him. I think he's just really happy with a streak at this point that isn't a second place. It's a streak of first, and it's a streak of greatness, Wes.
This is a completely different story from Arlington, in my opinion, for Formal, because he talked about in the interview post the win in Arlington about how he didn't know if he had it anymore. To me, Formal was the MVP of this grand finals. He was the MVP for this OpTic team this weekend. An unbelievable tournament, and that grand finals was pure and utter domination. This team, when they formed, there were questions. They are exactly who we thought they were.
They certainly are indeed. That is terrifying. You're looking at a grand final reset here. Absolutely magical. I mean, from the first one, obviously, FaZe managing to squeak one map out into that series. But this second one, you were hoping for FaZe to have some kind of, I don't know, sign of life, to keep this alive, to keep things going. Yes, it got a little bit close at times, I will say. FaZe fought back. There were moments where I thought, oh, this could be a turnaround here. But OpTic always seemed to have an answer to anything FaZe dealt them, including a potential overtime cap that was in FaZe's favor. It was literally in their gen. It was ready to go. Penguin had his hands on it. And Formal, like you said, MVP, the iciest of nades into that gen, just deleting every little ounce of advantage they had to get that last cap, to get something on the board. It just seems like OpTic, you can just never count them out. You may think you have one up on them, you don't.
To win a championship, you got to win the close games, and that second best of 7 had 3 out of 4 of the games very close, but OpTic showing the resilience, showing the iciness that they bring to the table as well as the dominant performance. And I mean, we got to give our hats off to FaZe for as great of a tournament as they have, but man, did OpTic show up ever since getting into the elimination bracket, and they showed out every damn time.
They certainly did indeed. We're looking right now at some highlights, and I've just got to say it's flawless work, isn't it? It really is some high-level Halo Infinite, and it's always on display with OpTic. Yes, they may have, you know, some of these small instances where they trip up, they fall short, and obviously end up in the elimination bracket. But honestly, at this point in time in the season, Halo Infinite is full of margins. It is such small little errors that can send you packing into the elimination bracket. And what matters most is digging deep and knowing what your team is worth and being able to build back up again and doing what it takes to win. Wes, I want to ask you about the level that OpTic always seem to hit on a Championship Sunday. It is untouchable, isn't it?
When it's go time for these boys, and they don't like to do it the easy way. The championship bracket did not feature a ton of OpTic on the winner's side, but it was all OpTic Gaming come elimination bracket back against the walls. And we act like we're surprised, but they did it again after the Arlington run. I mean, Bound, I'll kick this off. Welcome to the couch, boys. Congratulations on the championship. But
Thank you.
Bound, we talked when you put this team together, and you mentioned, was this the greatest team of all time and whatnot? I'm like, you guys haven't even played a series together yet, but with the 2 runs the 2 opportunities you've had and the 2 runs you put together, you are writing one hell of a story.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy. To do that twice back-to-back, it's pretty surreal.
Unheard of.
It really is. Honestly, at this point, it's a little bit of a troll question, but are you guys just, is that, you just like that? Do you want to play more Halo?
I do a little bit, yeah. I do like to play.
It gets you going. It's like it's a challenge at this point. It really is. Honestly, historic runs back to back. I think it's unheard of. I don't think many people would be falling into elimination round 1, going all the way and getting 2 best of 7s done back to back, and then doing it again in another event, literally repeating. So unbelievable stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. Formal, I want to ask you a little bit about, you know, the way that this roster was built together and how you saw this working, because I think there were a couple of questions that were posed about, listen, you're taking 4 of the absolute best ever Slayers to ever do it on a stage, putting them together. How is that going to work? Is it going to be too selfish? Is the teamwork going to be there? How's that dynamic working with egos, etc.? But what did you see in this roster for you to really like say, let's do this, guys?
I mean, like, these two are on like a 6-peat, so obviously they know what they're doing. And then me and John, like, we both had the similar style year last year where we both came into this year like hungry as hell to just win again. And like with these two, like, dude, I don't know, man, this is just so fun playing with these guys.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Formal, I got a question for you. Last tournament, obviously, a breath of fresh air. The comments you made about not knowing if you had it anymore after the second place. That weekend, I feel like Renegade was really the MVP for me. And come this tournament, you guys got backs against the wall early on, but it was you as an individual that I think really stepped up and matched the level that John was slaying at from Arlington. You're my MVP of the tournament personally. How did it feel to find your flow state like you did today and be the MVP asset you can be to a championship squad with guys that, I mean, he's MVP of last year, Bounds in the conversation every single time. John's done it before as well. Arlington was a hell of a show, but you finally had that individual performance that I think there should never be a doubt in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was blacked out today. Yesterday, like, I was so mad at myself the way that we lost to Shopify, the game 5. I mean, you can ask them. That's probably the most mad they'll ever see me. I was just enraged at the way I played the game 5. So I just knew come today, like, if we make it this far, like, I'm giving them my all. I'm making sure, like, it's not for nothing. And, yeah, I mean, I'm just proud that we played as a team the whole night.
It showed, man. Not only do you still have it, you're just unbelievable. Honestly, goated. It's insane to watch every single time. It's just a different level that is hit by all of you guys. Renegade, hello, mate.
What's up?
I gotta say, you are just unstoppable, aren't you? Every single series, every single map mode, whatever it is, it doesn't matter to you. You are always hitting the exact same level. Your consistency is undeniable. It's incredible. I want to ask you a little bit about that transition and now coming into a team that is just winning absolutely everything. Do you feel like a pressure is lifted, or do you feel like you have a little bit more pressure now to go and win absolutely everything?
I think we have more pressure to win absolutely everything because the way we won the first tournament was, you know, loser bracket round 1. And I was like, you know what, we won it that way. Let's come to this tournament and like try to, you know, win through winners finals, have a dominant event.
Dominant. Now you said you want it that way again.
I did not want it that way again, but it happened that way, and I trust in these guys, and we had trust in each other in our game plans, and we knew that if we just fixed everything, that we would win.
100%. You had plan A, didn't work out. Plan B worked perfectly fine. You've done it once again. Legend, unbelievable. Très bien.
Thank you.
Absolutely unbelievable. I will also say that you performed out of your mind today. The past 2 days have been a little quieter for you. Still phenomenal, but today, you were unbelievable, incredible.
Thank you.
What is it like heading into a championship Sunday with the rest of these teammates who are just incredible as well? But they're lifting you up clearly because today was a different level of Halo Infinite that was met for you.
I mean, I feel like with this team, like, we're able to do like anything we want. Like, even when we're back against the wall, like for example, the game 5 against SSG, like we had them 10 kills, and we had the ice to like come back and win it. So that team is pretty insane, and yeah, like I said, I feel like we can do anything.
Yeah, I feel like I've gassed everybody up other than Legend. And Legend, earlier today, you start the series of the day with Shopify Rebellion. Arguably, you guys are looking at the bracket saying Shopify's here. If we can just get past them, we can beat everybody else that's selected in this bracket. But to kick that series off the way you did, specifically, you were the best player in that series by far, and the fights that you were winning were crazy. What was the morning routine like? Like, how did you, like, because it was like 10 a.m. Like, that's early. I know John struggles at that time of the day. I know I would.
What'd you eat for breakfast? Was it candy bar?
No, I ate some Snickers and like.
He always eats the Snickers. He always eats the Snickers.
And I drink a Monster.
And a Monster. And a Monster Energy.
Kill to be young again.
And a Monster Energy.
What the hell?
That's it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. There we go. Breakfast of Champions, Monster Energy, and a Snickers bar. You heard it here first, folks. I've got to say, incredible stuff from all of you guys. Congratulations once again. An historic run. I don't think any of us will be forgetting this one anytime soon, but I do want to bring one more very important person to this puzzle in, which is, of course, Coach Lunch.
Jason.
Lunch, get on in here. Come on. We're going to bring the prize results up here because you guys have won a whopping 60K, which is not too shabby, to say the least. Bam, would you mind popping your headset over to Coach so I can have a little chat with him, because I want to know everything. Hello, Lunch.
Hello.
Lovely to have you on the sofa. First and foremost, congratulations, GG's. Another one done. Wow. First, I asked the boys about the fashion in which you're winning these tournaments, because it is just insanity. What are you doing to allow them to dig deep, in these series, knowing that you've got a massive journey ahead of you, a ton of Halo Infinite to play, and having to do it again with a bracket reset? What's the game plan for you specifically, and how you're helping them in implementing a win?
Well, first of all, I don't like starting in losers bracket round 1, but these boys show that it's not a problem. So 2 events in a row for them to do that is insane, and they're just max confidence no matter what. We lose a series, and they just keep their heads up and move on to the next one. So I'm just super proud of them. This is why they built the team, and unfortunately, this is the competition's worst fear, that they win the first 2 events of the year, because they formed this team to do that. So just proud of them.
You might have to have the guys running ladders or whatnot if it happens a 3rd tournament in a row. Some kind of level of punishment to make sure you guys don't drop into the ELM bracket round 1, like it seems to be the theme. But Box, obviously you're a historic player that's gone on whatever runs and whatnot, has many championships. It feels like these guys are catching up to you. What's it like to see the new next age pros, and you have the first-person perspective to be right behind them? These guys are great, but I'm sure your perspective on this is, how good is this team? Bound, I mentioned this when I asked Bound the question earlier, but Bound, when I was talking to him about when this team first formed, he said, is this the greatest team of all time? He asked me that. I go, you guys haven't even played a series yet. As the wins start to mount up, I know we're only at 2, but what's the ceiling for this team?
I mean, the ceiling is limitless. I think they've shown that the first 2 events here. Haven't taken the path that we maybe wanted, but I think these guys might want it. They like playing more games at the tournament, so it's worked out in our favor, and I've got no complaints. I just try to stay out of the way.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's working. Whatever you guys are doing on and off the sticks, it's incredible. So thank you so much for making history once again.